All right, good evening, folks, and happy Friday. We're just about ready for round two here tonight, game 2 of 3 in the Wildcats' last remaining 3-game homestand here at K. Yeager Coliseum. My name is Alex Von Koitel. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. We're glad to have you with us. Let's recap last night real quick while we've got a minute here before puck drop here on Pack the House night. The Cats survived an onslaught to edge the IceRays in a shootout. Last night's 3-2 final score was a modest one, which didn't exactly capture the way the game had been played from start to finish. It had everything fans could have asked for: a fight, goals, a number of spectacular saves, 3-on-3 overtime, a 5-round shootout, and ultimately a Wildcats victory. However, it wasn't just because of stellar goaltending that the scoreline remained relatively conservative. Countless golden opportunities went by the wayside yesterday, particularly for Corpus Christi. In the second period alone, the IceRays missed on 2 breakaways, had a goal waved off due to a quick whistle by the referee Ian Gendro, and they struck the inside of the left post with a Brad Power shot from the left point with 2 seconds remaining in the second. In the third, they finally managed to beat Evan Moyes and tie the game, despite the Ohio State commit stopping 16 of their 17 shots in period 3. He held off an IceRays team eager to win last night in regulation. However, the Cats would buckle down to force overtime, where they began to shift the play in their favor a little bit. The home side picked up the tempo with the extra ice, outshooting Corpus Christi 6-2 in the 5-minute 3-on-3 period. Finally, they nearly solved Tomáš Vamachka, but the Czech goaltender made all 6 saves in overtime, which forced a shootout. Shootouts have been a glowing strength of Evan Moyes this season. The Cats now 2-2 on the campaign, with both of their wins coming with Evan Moyes in net. He is 10 for 10 in shootouts on the season, folks. He is the only goalie remaining in the NAHL to have faced 10-plus shootout shots and still remain perfect. Despite his best efforts, the Cats could not find a way to solve Vamachka at the other end until the 5th round. Jeff Skinner, known for his silky smooth hands, faked Tomáš Vamachka out and went to his backhand before elevating a shot under the crossbar for the walk-off shootout winner. Though the Cats did come away with the victory last night, it would have helped their cause even further had they managed to win in regulation time. Corpus Christi earned a point in the standings by taking the Cats to overtime, and the skin-tight race for second place in the South Division continues to show no signs of loosening. The Mudbugs also won their game last night, so they remain just a meager point ahead of the Wildcats in the South. 11 games remain for the Cats, at least 12 for Shreveport and Corpus Christi before the playoffs start, and they'll all count. Tonight is expected to be another close call as the Cats host a bitter IceRays team, feeling as though they were robbed by last night's defeat, and if we're being honest, folks, in a lot of ways, they were. Last night was Evan Moyes' first appearance in 3 weeks. The last time he had played was in Shreveport back on February 17th, which was a night to forget for him. His resolve last night, extraordinary, and was perhaps the most impressive part about the Wildcats' 3-2 victory. He had displayed an incredibly selfless attitude when George McBay and Jared Dempsey shined during the Wildcats' 4-game winning streak. Not once did he mope about it or complain about not getting as much ice time as he was accustomed to. He was very supportive of George McBay and Jared Dempsey, and his patience more than paid off. He made 41 of a possible 43 saves last night, on top of going 5 for 5 in the shootout. His brilliance in net earned him the Kona Ice first star of the game yesterday, and he is expected to start again tonight. It will be his first back-to-back appearance since February 4th. The public address announcer here, Charles Campbell, announcing the starting lineups brought to you by Pelican's Restaurant. Corpus Christi's players are all out there ready to go. The Wildcats players doing the same right now. Jeff Skinner, last night's number 2 star of the game, will start, and he deserves it for the Wildcats. He had a couple of assists as well as the game-winning goal in the shootout. What a night for Jeff Skinner yesterday. He has been moved up to the veteran line with Ryan Burnett and Nick Rosa, the former of whom you just saw skate out there right now, the latter of whom is about to. Nick Rosa, the Wildcats co-captain, ex-Sioux City Musketeer, will be centering Wichita Falls' top line tonight, with Burnett on his right side and Skinner on his left. Between the pipes, again, we mentioned it, Evan Moyes, last night's number 1 star of the game, more than earned the right to start tonight. He will be tonight's starting netminder for the Wildcats. As for Corpus Christi, it looks like they're going with Mason Kruger's line, with Josh Tripp, who was nursing an injury, did not play yesterday. Brad Power on his left. On defense will be Logan Jestro and Trevor Wilhelm. In net, they're going with a change. Tomáš Vamachka, despite playing pretty well yesterday, has been benched for tonight and will be backing up Camden Burgrabe, who last played the Wildcats 1 week ago today and was defeated by a 4-3 final, a heartbreaker for the IceRays in overtime. And now we await the singing of our country's national anthem by Big John Wilson. Well, if you're just now joining us on Hockey TV, you missed it. There was a very interesting issue we had with the screen. It appeared green. I'm not sure if it still is or if it's just the location of the ice. It looks like it's got a bit of a greenish glow. Sorry if that's bugging you folks. Unfortunately, there might not be anything we can do about that at this point. Looks like for the most part it's all right, but earlier on it was absolutely abysmal, unwatchable. Just green everywhere. You couldn't even see what was going on really. At one point, even the away feed was purple, and the home feed was green. I spoke with a gentleman from Hockey TV who informed me about the problem. He said they've never seen anything quite like that. As soon as I would unplug one HDMI cable from either one of the Vidium boxes, it would switch. The home feed would go green, and the away feed would be clear, and then vice versa. Anytime I would pull one out and replace it, it was just a very odd scenario. Fortunately, it looks like that should not be an issue any longer. A little bit green, it looks like, still on the screen. So we're going to see if we can look into that when we get some time here, maybe this week. But nevertheless, this HD stream, of course, looks tremendous. To our YouTube audience, thanks so much for tuning in and being such loyal supporters of your Wildcats here on this de facto radio broadcast that we've got. IceRays actually are starting Matt Acioli on defense. Along with Cody Fleckenstein, and up front will be Nathan Breyer's unit. So Nathan Breyer will be flanked by David Baskerville and by Brendan Miller. Domantas Sipis is still serving the final game of his suspension, which was given to him for elbowing Corpus Christi's David Thompson last Saturday. The Wildcats will again be forced to win a game without the veteran Blue Liners' presence. Pack the House Night underway here at K. Yeager Coliseum. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. We're so happy to have you with us here on your Friday night. The Wildcats looking to take a 2-0 stranglehold on this series. Skinner slides one into the deep slot. Good recovery by Orgel as he will ricochet the puck off the left corner. Now it's picked up by Burnett again with his head up multiple times, looking for a way to get it to Orgel, who just could not keep it in the zone. And the linesman tonight, Alexios Karabetsos, has blown the whistle and the play dead. This first period of Wildcats hockey is presented by American Classifieds. Looks like the same linesman we've got from last night, Chase Wilkinson and Alexios Karabetsos. And again, it will be Ian Gendro, so the same crew. Must be going blind. I could have sworn I saw a different name on the referee's jersey. So same officiating crew from last night. Yesterday, the IceRays had 6 power plays. The Wildcats had 4. All 10 power plays would fall silent yesterday. Brad Power from the left half boards will shoot. Not sure if that caromed off the glove of Moyes or not. Nevertheless, it went wide of the goal ultimately. Now Kruger has it behind the net. Centers went too far there for Josh Tripp. Now it's Power setting up Tripp from the top of the left circle, whose weak shot is paddled aside by Moyes. Again, Tripp did not play yesterday. Garrett Halford was a very serviceable replacement there in that role on the right side of Corpus Christi's top guns. Now here comes Skvortsov into the right circle with a shot knocked away by Burgrabe. Big first save for Camden Burgrabe, and that's not the guy ideally you'd want to face your first shot against in Ilya Skvortsov, who's absolutely got a rocket of a shot. Now Kruger will slide one around the right wall. And Moyes will drop it behind his own net. Jonathan Waring, who's been arguably the Wildcats' best player against the IceRays this season, gets it up and out to center. Heiser will let it go up for Tilly. Shot across the blue line, stopped right on by Camden Burgrave. Held in the zone by Waring, whose slap shot just got a piece of Burgrave's stick. Now it works its way to the near half wall where Walker will put it back behind the net. Ripley knocked off the puck by Cody Fleckenstein. Waring tries to dust the puck off at center. Rolls past him. Heiser there to cover ground in his own zone. Nearly 2 minutes have gone by in this first period without a score. 3-1 your shots on net in favor of the Wildcats, who have just iced the puck. Anyone who's tuned in here on Pack the House Night, go ahead and tweet at us at WF Wildcats, and we'd be happy to give you a shout out before this game comes to its end. A few parents I'd like to give a shout out to that are here in attendance right off the bat. Roger Burnett, who said he was planning on doing some color commentating with me in period 2, so just be alert, be heads up for that. He'll be on the air with me in period 2. Always does a good job and very knowledgeable about the sport. Lori Waring as well. Jonathan Waring's mother is here, as is Ricky Carballo's father. Those are the parents I know for a fact to be here. There's a few, I'm sure, others that are here that I'm not aware of. Del Ponte from his own zone. Pass over the stick of Tilly. Filler intercepting it for the IceRays. He will spin back, pursued by Kevin Fees. For those of you who were tuned in last night, folks, you've got to remember the fight Kevin Fees and Tucker White got themselves into just 4 minutes into the game. A behemoth matchup between two very strong players, two of the toughest players in the league, absolutely. Got into a scrap just 4 minutes into the game, and Tucker White dislocated his shoulder because of the fight. Matt Hannawall scoots into the zone and shoots. It gets blocked. So Tucker White is not in the lineup tonight for Corpus Christi. Kevin Fees is good to go. Skinner gets the pass from Orgel. Gains the zone and shoots. Swallowed up by Burgrave, and no further play. So this is game number 2. The Cats with a 3-2 victory last night gained 2 points. The IceRays got 1. The Cats now 2 points ahead of them in the standings, with the IceRays having 1 game in hand. So just a 0.007% differential in the standings between those teams. Such a tight race in the South, folks, unlike any other division in this league. This is the middle game. Always a very important one. The IceRays looking to bounce back after they feel like a game was stolen from them yesterday, which again, essentially was. Especially in the third period. Evan Moyes just absolutely survived an onslaught in period 3 to force overtime. And the Cats very easily could have come away from that game having taken 0 points. Instead, they walked away with 2. Nick Rosa gets the backhand pass from Ryan Burnett. He is stick checked by Mason Kruger, who starts it back into the attacking zone in transition. On the right side, slides it past the stick of Brendan Miller. Off the intercept, it's Rosa, whose pass intended for Skinner, intercepted by Fleckenstein. Now it's Brendan Miller punching it back into the Wildcat zone. Heiser will jab it away from Josh Tripp. Recovering now in the neutral zone is Fleckenstein. Out to Brad Power. He waits for his mates to get onside. They're good to go now, and Power's blast is blocked by Jonathan Waring and out of play. 15:35 to go in the first. We're scoreless here at K. Yeager Coliseum. We've got the Walkers watching as always. Thank you very much to the Walker family for being such diehard supporters of your Wichita Falls Wildcats and watching C.J. Walker and the Cats battle the IceRays here on Friday night. C.J. Walker, a young man with a very bright future ahead of him, the youngest player on the Wild commitment a few months ago to Minnesota State University Mankato. Evan Moyes with a pad save off a slap shot from the deep slot. Skvortsov gets hit by Fleckenstein, who actually took more of the force on the collision there, it appeared. Skvortsov is then finished off by Josh Tripp. Back behind his own net with it now is Corpus Christi's Matt Acioli. Tripp on the right side. Able to wobble it over the skates of Poikala. Now here comes Thompson, crisscrossing and shooting. Didn't get much on the shot whatsoever. Power will drop it now for Tripp, who weaves down the right side. Now it's Power, who lost it to Skvortsov. Passed it to himself to get past Acioli, but ultimately lost a handle on it, manages to recover and dish it back to Regula. Hot pass off the stick of Ripley, who deflects it into offensive territory. Content to go chase it down. Jestro jostling for it with Blake Ripley. Now Wilhelm will just slip it up past a forechecking Walker out to Orgel, who's harassed there by Loughran. Orgel gets back on it, swings it up diagonally for C.J. Walker. Gains the zone, loses the puck, but Tilly picks it up and shoots, missing through the blue paint and wide. Stays in the zone as Orgel pinches down the left boards. Tilly's got it left corner, sweeps it along the end wall. Jestro is there. Can he clear with the help of DiMizio? No, he cannot. Ripley puts it back in behind the net, below the goal line at least. Tilly is wrapped up by Wilhelm, manages to work it up to C.J. Regula with a head fake, bounces one back down the half wall. Tilly puts it back behind the net. Walker is there, will spin it in front through the slot and well wide of everything. Finally, it's hacked out of there by the IceRays. Jason DiMizio, another tall player. C.J. Regula there to pick it up, but he has just iced the puck for the Wildcats. 13:47 to go in the first. 4 2-year shots in favor of the Cats, but we're scoreless here on Pack the House night. Our fantastic Booster Club made some really nice looking posters of the players that are being auctioned down at the Booster Club table right now, starting at $30 a piece. Biddings in increments of $1, so kudos, big shout out to our Booster Club for putting that together for us. They look really good. Looking forward to seeing how well those sell, because those really were impressively done. Look out here, Moyes turns the puck over behind his net and the IceRays score. Moyes coughed it up, he tried to pass it around the end wall. It went off of a Wildcat skate and right to Corpus Christi's Cole Filler, who's just scored one of his easiest goals he'll ever get in his career. Or perhaps that was Novo, rather. Looks like that was Matt Novo, who's got just his second goal of the season in his 22nd game. And Evan Moyes not going to be happy with himself after that. Just tried to pass it around the wall. I don't think he knew it, but there was a Wildcat right next to him. It bounced off his skate. I couldn't quite identify who it was, but it ricocheted right to Matt Novo, who redeemed himself a little bit. He had 2 breakaways yesterday, failed to convert on both of them. He's finally got a goal. Matt Novo, with just his second goal on the season, has opened the scoring here on Pack the House night. The IceRays, with just their 3rd shot on net, have scored. Nick Rosa battling for it in between the circles. He shovels it wide in behind the net. Burnett will center. Skinner's wrapped up, can't get a shot off. Fleckenstein knocks it away and punches it out off the glass. Cats will toss it back in. Rosa jostling for it with the lone goal scorer, Matt Novo, who lobs one over his own blue line. Regula intercepting and feeding Ryan Burnett, who will slap it into the zone. Burgrave behind his net. IceRays start the outlet. Connor Yanni swings it down the right side. Brendan Miller gains the zone. Lost the puck there to C.J. Regula, who could have a 3-on-2 developing. Poikla with an opening on the left wing. He will shoot in and out of the glove of Cam Burgrave. IceRays just managed to clear it past the blue line. Cats on a delayed offside as Poikla touches up. The linesman blowing his whistle and the play dead. 8 minutes into this game, Matt Novo with the lone goal. 1-0 Corpus Christi, despite the Cats doubling them in shots on net, 6-3. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. Hope you're having a great Friday night. Pretty decent crowd on hand here on Pack the House night. The lower bowl just about full. Still without a penalty to be called in this game, which could not have been said yesterday. 5 and a 10 for fighting against Kevin Fees and Tucker White, the latter of whom was injured and is not in this hockey game. IceRays are rolling with 5 defensemen tonight and 13 forwards. Matt Novo essentially alternating. And a shot goes off the post. A close call there for the IceRays as Canal battles for it left half boards. Outnumbered and outmuscled. Ultimately, Moyes will just take a whistle on a defensive zone faceoff. Novo and Garrett Halford alternating on that 4th line left wing with Cole Filler and with Cole Gammer. Yesterday, Halford played in Josh Tripp's spot on the right side with Mason Kruger and Brad Power, Corpus Christi's top line. Now that Tripp is good to go now and healthy enough to play, he's back in his customary spot, and Josh Tripp, or rather Garrett Halford, has been moved down to the fourth line. So he and Matt Novo may not get a whole lot of ice time here tonight, but Matt Novo's already made the best of it with a goal. Cats have just iced the puck here. PA announcer Charles Campbell is doing a great job. He's letting everyone know the merch booth is having a big sale. 25% off for all Wildcats merchandise down here at the KYC for the rest of the season. Good opportunity to folks to get Wildcats sweaters and t-shirts and other paraphernalia. CJ Walker nearly with a breakaway after a good pass from Ripley, but he was caught up to from behind. Acioli with it behind his own net. Mason Kruger. Puck looked to be played with a high stick by Josh Tripp. Nothing was called. Zach Heiser had it escape and Powers right on top of him. Heiser punches it back out to center past Tilley. Jestro intercepting. Up for Mason Kruger. Now here comes Power again. Native of Newfoundland will slap a shot that gets blocked and it goes off the netting and out of play. Bit of a scrap ensuing with Tilley down there after the whistle. These teams have now played against one another 4 consecutive times with a 5th to be had tomorrow. Hostilities are already just about at their peak, I would say. Or I would hope at least. But we always know how Game 3s turn out to be. And Corpus Christi last year was a team especially known for getting chippy and feisty in the second and third games of series. This year, Odessa's probably taken the cake. So Regula tries to lift the stick of Loughran. He managed to steal the puck. And now Kevin Fees motors down through center, puts it over the blue line. The Cats are onside as Hannawall shoots it, punched away by Burgrave. And the puck is overskated by Isaac Cabinia, nearly put into his own net from Loughran. Fees still on the puck, will swing it up to the top. Waring with a head fake and a shot. Score! Deflected in front of the goal by Matt Hannawall, and the Cats have tied the game. Matt Hannawall with his first goal in 12 games, his third as a Wildcat. And this game's all tied up at 1. How dominant has Jonathan Waring been against the IceRays this season? Yesterday he had a shot from the right point that got deflected by an IceRays stick, so Jonathan Waring rather was credited with the goal. Tonight, a shot from the left point, a heavy wrist shot that gets deflected by Matt Hannawall, who has scored his third goal as a Wildcat, a huge one, and has just tied the game up at 1. Well, I'm sure Jonathan Waring's going to find a way to maybe plead the schedule makers and see if he can play against the IceRays every single game. 4 of his 5 goals this season have come against Corpus Christi. And it's not just the goal scoring that he's done so well against them. It's everything. Well-deserved third star of the game of last night's performance after Jeff Skinner and Evan Moyes. So Cabinia on the right side of his own zone will swing it into the middle of the ice canal, punches it ahead for his ex-Little Caesars teammate Kevin Fees. Plays it into the right corner. Fees jabs at it. Fleckenstein pursued by Fees, who's working hard on the forecheck. Puck escapes the stick of Rosa. Canal from the left half boards will wheel it around in behind the net and around the boards. And Canal will scoot back to get it. I got it. So now it comes in front for a shot there by Jeff Skinner, which gets blocked. The IceRays will start it down from the red line. It's dumped into the left corner in the Wildcat zone. We're halfway through this first period, the score being 1-1. Goals from Matt Novo and Matt Hannawall. Long diagonal pass nearly found Skinner. It was picked off by Brendan Miller. Burnett with a good pass on the tape for Skinner, who's onside. Drives it wide on Miller and centers off a skate. Loose in front, Burgrave settles it down and covers. And a scrap taking place right behind the Wildcats net after that save by Burgrave. And I think finally we might see some players being sent off. No official fights will come of this, but some roughing penalties which will offset, certainly. I think Jeff Skinner, chief among them, is going to have a seat. And the IceRay most responsible for that little Donnybrook, Logan Jestro. The Wildcats are going to get a penalty from this. I'm not sure why, but Carballo and Skinner have both made their way to the box. Last night, Corpus Christi had 6 power plays, failed to convert on all of them, and oddly enough did score a shorthanded goal. So we're going to, this won't be a timeout. It will just be the first period media timeout, it looks like. So both coaches are going to have a chance to regroup their squads here. The Wildcats definitely with a better first half of this period than they did yesterday, out shooting Corpus 11-5. 9 minutes to go in the first. You're tied up at 1 goal apiece. Goals from Matz, Novo, and Hannawall. But the Wildcats are going to be going to the Parkway Grill penalty kill for the first time tonight. On the season, it's been steadily improving. And we're seeing one of the rink boards getting taken off in the middle of the game. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, but the Flowers by Basket case rink board has just been removed by a couple of off-ice officials. I'll have to ask around and see if I can't get to the bottom of that. That is strange. Never seen that happen before, I don't think. I guess they just maybe yank their sponsorship and we have to panic and pull it out right away. I'm not sure. So, Cats to the PK. Perfect against Corpus Christi the last 3 games. Kruger from the right corner. Power got hit up high. The referee, Ian Gendro, did not see it. Play resumes 5-on-4. Breyer up to the top. Fleckenstein, a drive, deflected, stopped by Moyes. What a save! That one knuckleballed. It changed direction and was slowly knuckling towards the inside of the left post. Moyes, with his blocker arm, managed to squeeze it shut and stop it and halt it enough so that it didn't enter the net. Big save by Moyes on a redirect. And folks, when the redirect causes the puck to slow down, ask a lot of goaltenders, that makes it even harder sometimes to stop. Fleckenstein now for Breyer, right half boards. Sends it down to the goal line from the right corner. It swung back to the right point again. Fleckenstein walks the line, sets up Power, who fans on the one-timer. Fleckenstein again holds it in the zone at the blue line. Power gets it right circle with Kruger in the slot. Power a shot, blocked away by Moyes. Big stop. Power gets it once more at the top of the right circle, cuts into the middle and shoots. Stick save by Moyes. Kruger gloves it down to the ice. Tries to find a way to work it to the top, can't do it. Nice clear from the high slot by Nick Rosa, who gets a well-deserved ovation from the crowd here. Rosa and Cabinha, 2 of the Wildcats' top penalty killers. Not playing together, it looks like, here tonight on the PK. Cabinha is out there right now trying to poke the puck away from Fleckenstein. Nice work on the forecheck by the Wilmar, Minnesota native. Kruger's with some, or the IceRays rather, with a sloppy zone exit. Thompson's got to circle back into his own end. He will give it out to Jestro. Rather, Fleckenstein, who's been out there the entire duration of this IceRays power play. Poikila. Orgel accelerates it as far as the blue line, just getting past it. Fleckenstein retrieving it now at center. Puck Puck is lobbed over a jumping Fleckenstein by Moyes from behind his own net and down the ice. Good effort, good clear by Evan Moyes. 7:20 to go in the first period. 1-1 your score. Ripley able to bank it past his own blue line out to Loughran, who intercepts it for the IceRays in the neutral zone. Loughran motors it down the right side, gains the red line, coughs it up to Ripley. Here comes Tilley on the counter, joined by Carballo. Tilley with a shot, had a stick check by Tripp. As a result, didn't get much on it, if anything. Carballo swings a wobbling puck out to the high slot, could not be kept in by Ripley. Waring will just curl and drag and fire it back in. 6:45 to go in the first, 1-1 your score. The Cats 1 for 1 on the PK tonight. Another good start. They've actually been... Seems like they're more liable to give up goals when they're on the power play than they are when they're on the penalty kill. And that happens sometimes. Power play, get the extra skater, you get a little bit complacent maybe, a little bit lazy. And something that a lot of players don't always seem to understand is that when you get the extra man, all that means is you've got to work that much harder. You've got an opportunity, a golden opportunity to score when you've got the extra attacker. That's a huge advantage. And a lot of times players just, they turn it into a disadvantage on themselves because they don't work as hard. Fees on the left side going wide and shooting, and that one stopped by Burgrave. He had it in the catching glove. .553 remain in this first period, 1-1 your score. IceRays with a pair of shots on that last power play, but nothing to show for it. Matt Hannawall centering the Wildcats' fourth line tonight with Isaac Cabina and Kevin Fees. The Rays win the faceoff. Jestro can't clear it past Cabina. Hannawall goes tumbling down far half wall. Gammer intercepting, having a blowout there is Canal. Another IceRay with one as well, but here's a chance for the Rays. Nice stick check by Cabina on the back check to knock it away from Cole Filler, who would have had a golden chance to regain the lead for Corpus Christi. Look out here. Filler cuts into the left circle and will shoot off the glove of Moyes. Rebound. Halford nearly had it. Canal knocked him down to the ice. Couple of timely stick checks, first by Cabina, then by Roman Canal. 2 goals saved perhaps by the two of them. Oh, and the puck just barely crossed the blue line. The Cats would have had a 3-on-1 to the goal. That's a fortunate break for the IceRays. David Thompson was hip checked before crossing his own blue line. The puck was loose and just barely inched over it. Had it not, Ilya Skvortsov would have been off to the races with Poikula and Carballo, and that is a dangerous trio. 5:09 remain in the first, 1-1 your score. Shots nearly level now, 11-9 favoring the Cats. Jason DeMizio, the 6'3" power forward, will drive it wide on Heiser. And DeMizio from the left corner in the Wildcat zone. Heiser pinning him up to the wall. Thompson also pinned up. 4 players having difficulty moving the puck. Thompson losing it ultimately to Ryan Orgel, who will start it out to Skvortsov. Lead pass nearly had Carballo. Bounces right to Orgel, who starts it down the right wing. Can't center for Skvortsov. Taken away by DeMizio. He gets it up to David Thompson, who's got a 2-on-1 with Griffin Loughran. Thompson for Loughran. He's in. He shoots. What a save by Evan Moyes! Huge stop by the future Buckeye, moving from his right to his left on Griffin Loughran. An unbelievable save. Goaltenders are instructed on 2-on-1s to stop the shot and not the pass. Evan Moyes stopped both. It's the responsibility of the defenseman in that scenario to prevent a pass. And David Thompson, very much a shoot-first player, who's lit up the Wildcats this season with 6 goals against them, decided to pass to Griffin Loughran, who had an empty side, the right side of the net. However, the only downside with passing on 2-on-1s is typically, unless it's a perfect pass, it takes a second for the receiving player to settle the puck down and get a good shot away. Nick Rose is going to go to the box here as he brought down one of the IceRays. I believe that was David Baskerville down there in the corner, and he is still down. And Rosa's going to have a seat now. Hit from behind perhaps. 4:20 to go in the first period. And Brian Deathridge rushes over to David Baskerville's aid, making sure that the IceRays forward is all right. He's been a very good depth player for the IceRays this season, David Baskerville. Good playmakers, got 16 assists. And he appears to be all right. Going to skate back to the IceRays bench. Won't be anything more than 2 minutes against Nick Rosa. And perhaps if that was that hit came from a player with more of a history, there would have been more dished out, but more punishment dished out. But Nick Rosa doesn't even have a major penalty or even a double minor penalty assessed to him this season, so he's let off the hook with just a 2-minute minor. I'm sure they'll call it a cross-check perhaps, or a hit from behind, or perhaps boarding. But the IceRays back to the power play. Still 0 in this series, and the last one. Kruger gives it down to Power. A lot of firepower on this IceRays man advantage, no pun intended. Power centers for Kruger, knocked away by Orgel. Following up will be Breyer. He puts it to the side of the net. Backhand shot stopped by Moyes, and he hangs on to the puck. Nice little effort there by Breyer to just wedge the puck over to David Thompson, who was looming at the side of the net. Got some sort of knuckling shot away. Not even sure I'd call it a shot. Just managed to hack it towards the net in any way he could. And Moyes did a good job getting over to his right and making the stop. Now Thompson will square off against Alexei Poikala. Thompson jumping the gun and being booted from the faceoff dot. And Mason Kruger, who's very accustomed to taking faceoffs, will take his place. Thompson will swap with him. Now Power will swap with Kruger. Power not so accustomed to taking faceoffs, though he won the draw regardless. Fleckenstein walks the line, gives it now to Thompson from the left circle, puts it to the goal line. Kruger shoots from a tough angle. Moyes, the butterfly save. Loose puck in front. Stuff attempt there by Power, stopped by Moyes, who was hugging the left post with his pad. Power up to Kruger, jammed out of there by Roman Canal, high in the air, and it's settled down by Fleckenstein. Canal jumps up, read the play and pinched, knocked it away from Breyer. Kruger takes a spill, courtesy of a forecheck and Cabinha, but here comes Thompson, lays it up the middle of the ice. Kruger drops it off. Powers got it, top of the left circle. Powers run into by Ryan Burnett. Gotten back to the blue line for Fleckenstein, whose drive is fought off by Moyes' blocker. Loose stick in the deep slot. Fleckenstein, a one-timer. Scorches just wide of the net from the right circle. It's Breyer spinning with it, picked off his stick by Poikala, who could have a 2-on-1 here with Ryan Burnett. Poikala tried to give it across for Burnett. Good stick check by Fleckenstein. And Poikala, with a good reception from his skate to his stick, gets tripped, draws a penalty, and the IceRays go right after him in front of the Corpus Christi bench. And now Burnett is tripped by Nathan Breyer. A tripping penalty will be called against who else but Josh Tripp. So Josh Tripp, guilty of a trip. And the Wildcats, in 37 seconds, will go to their first power play of the game. For that time allotment, they'll go to the 4-on-4, where they were pretty darn good yesterday. Skvortsov will take the draw against Baskerville. Good to see him back out there after receiving that hit from Nick Rosa. Jestro loses it to Skvortsov, but gets it right back, and he will start it out for the IceRays 3-on-3. Jestro down the middle, defended by Skinner, puts it over the blue line for Loughran, who will try to slip past Waring. Skinner able to read it and pick it off. Skvortsov's pass is well outside the reach of Jonathan Waring. Loughran, Jestro, Yanni bounces one out to center, where it's taken away by Waring. Jestro again from his own zone. Squeaks it out to the blue line, where it's picked off by Zach Heiser. Lobs it out into the Yanni corner. Brendan Miller now down the right side. Cats to a power play for the next minute and a half. Rose is let out of the box, and he will stay on the ice. Coach Nelson ordering him to do so. He was going to go to the bench, to see if Coach Nelson wanted a replacement. He does not. Rosa's the guy he wants out there. Skinner down the left side going wide on Fleckenstein, circles in behind the net and swings it up to the top. Heiser for Orgel. Will he pull the trigger? No. Heiser gets it back, top of the right circle, feeds it over to Rosa, touch pass to Orgel, reaches out and keeps it in the zone with that good lift. Now Orgel will hammer a one-timer off the right pad of Burgrave. Rosa takes a spill. Skvortsov from the top of the right half boards, can't hold it in the zone as it's swatted directly out of play. Or perhaps took a deflection, I think that's what they're saying. Brendan Miller hacked at it, went off of Skvortsov's blade and out of play into the crowd. So the face-off to take place in the neutral zone here. Shots are level at 12 apiece. Goals are level at 1 apiece. 99 seconds remain in this first period. Again, 1-1 score. 2 players named Matt have scored tonight. First it was Matt Novo of Corpus Christi, and then Matt Hannawall of Wichita Falls, both of which came at even strength. Poikila gets a nice pass from Orgel, then flies down the right side. Poikila tries the pass. The puck would not settle down for him to secure a good handle on it. Poikila is hit from behind down there in the corner. Rosa collects it, looks for a way to get it to the side of the net, gets it to Ryan Burnett. 1-on-2, manages to work it up to Roman Canal, manning the right point. Dekes his way past Filler. Drives it down, centering pass. Rosa is tripped up in the slot. Turnaround shot by Canal gets blocked. Miller's without a stick, so we're basically a 5-on-3.5 here. Orgel gets the rink-wide pass in the deep slot. Over to Roman Canal, right point. Canal holds. Orgel one-times it. Score! Ryan Orgel with his first goal in 22 games. A beautiful shot just inside the right post. I'm not sure if that will count as a power play goal. I think the power play had expired. Ryan Orgel with his 7th goal of the season, leading all defensemen, has given the Wildcats their first lead of the game. So Tilly will scoot in and fire off the glove of Burgrave and settle down and stopped. Last minute of play is brought to you by La Quinta Inn & Suites, the Wildcats' official host hotel. That was an even strength goal scored by Ryan Orgel and a blast from the left point. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Ryan Orgel after practices just working on his shot. Any chance he gets to just work one-on-one with Coach Nelson, who can, he's just a student of the game, if you will, just tries to find any way he can to improve his game, improve his skating and his shot especially. He loves shooting it. That's no secret. And boy, can he bring it. TJ Walker gets it to Tilly, who will swing it up to the top. Cats looking for one last goal here before the period ends. The puck deflects off the post. Burgrave scrambling to keep it in the zone. That was a shot from the right point taken by CJ Regula, a forward-turned defenseman for this series, and the puck nearly caromed in off of Burgrave, but it went off the post and stayed out. The IceRays can't clear it. Rattles off the glass. Regula fakes the slap shot, gives it to Walker, who fans on the wrist shot from the right circle. Snuffed out of there, and Brendan Miller will start it back for the IceRays with 10 seconds to go in the period. Will try the curl and drag. Regula knocked him off the puck. And Del Ponte rubs his man out in behind the net. The Wildcats will be able to kill off the rest of this period with no more harm done. Their first lead of this hockey game came courtesy of a Ryan Orgel point blast from the left side. A perfectly placed shot over the glove of Burgrave inside the right elbow of the net. Nearly a bar-down snipe by Ryan Orgel. Beautiful shot by the Wildcats' number 8 alternate captain Orgel to give the Cats their first lead of this game. Matt Hannawall first goal to follow Corpus Christi's opening score from Matt Novo. Overall, tremendous period played by the Wildcats. A lot more jump in their step, much better skating. Yesterday, it looked like the Cats, both teams really struggled skating in the first period, though there were 3 goals scored. We're actually entering the first intermission with the identical scoreline, though this was nevertheless a much better first period for the Wildcats than yesterday's was. It seemed like the water from the Zamboni hadn't quite dried nearly enough yet. The ice was very wet as a result. Some of the players looked like they were skating through puddles, because to an extent they were. So that has not seemed to be nearly as much of an issue here tonight. Both teams flying around all over the place, and the Wildcats ending up with a 2-1 lead after the first 20 minutes. 15 12-yard shots on net. We're going to take a break here, folks. When we come back, we'll talk more about that first period for you in greater detail. Take a look around the NAHL and so much more. Until then, stay tuned. We won't be gone long. All right, welcome back, folks. Sorry for keeping you in the dark there. Sorry for that delay. For our first last night's standards, the first penalties didn't take place till after the halfway point of the first. But let's talk about how we got there. Matt Novo opened the scoring for the IceRays 6 minutes and 36 seconds into the contest. Evan Moyes with a bit of an errant play behind his own net. He tried to pass it and reverse it around the left wall in his own zone. It just happened to carry him off a Wildcats skate. A bit unlucky, yes, absolutely. But and Evan Moyes have got to be a little bit more alert there in the So a turnover resulted in basically an empty net goal for Matt Novo. Very good sign. Teams that respond to adversity well, like the Cats have done, it's always a sign of a good team. And they have done that so well this season. What they've not done well is building up insurance leads. That is a story for another day. Matt Hannawall deflected a point shot taken by Jonathan Waring, who's got his 22nd assist on the season, and another huge play by Jonathan. He is just absolutely lighting them up this season. Hannawall with the deflection for his third goal as a Wildcat. Ryan Orgel, nearly 10 minutes later, would blast home his 7th goal of the season, first in 22 games, assisted by Alexei Poikala and Ryan Burnett just after the Wildcats' power play had expired. It was a point-to-point pass. Ryan Orgel from the top of the left circle area just blasted a shot inside the right post, the right elbow, and it nearly went barred down. It went over the glove of Cam Burgrabe, and Orgel with his defense leading 7th goal of the season gave the Wildcats their first lead of this game with that blast. So right now we're at 2-1 Cats. Let's take a quick glance around the NAHL before we take one last break before second period action starts. Tonight, obviously a lot more busy than yesterday was. We'll start out east. Aston Wilkes-Barre tied up at 2 goals apiece. Aston still dominating on a huge winning streak right now in the East Division, though an underdog right now tied with them midway through period 3 out in Aston, Pennsylvania. New Jersey and Johnstown, the other Eastern rivals, also going at it tonight, also tied up at 2 goals apiece, though not quite as deep into their game. 3:38 to go in the second period out in Middletown, New Jersey. Janesville hosting Springfield, another game that's tied. Janesville 1, Springfield 1. Bismarck in Austin taking on the Bruins, who lead the Bobcats 2 goals to 1. A lot of tight games we're seeing around the NAHL at the moment. Now to the south, Amarillo hosting Shreveport in Game 2 of their 3-game stint. The Bulls trailing the Mudbugs 1-0. The Bugs won 4-2 against the Amarillo Bulls last night. 1-0 Shreveport, courtesy of a Kieran Durgan goal just 41 seconds into the contest. Speaking of Amarillo, we hope all is okay out there. I was informed a little bit earlier today. I hadn't even heard about it, but saw that there were some fires out near Amarillo, that area. Some wildfires, really. A lot of farmland, a lot of acres are burning in Amarillo. And I was told that some folks could even see the smoke from Wichita Falls, which is a good 3 hours away from Amarillo plus. So those folks out in Amarillo, you're in our thoughts and prayers. Hopefully that gets resolved soon. Not sure if it's Amarillo per se or the surrounding area, but nevertheless, folks, pray for Amarillo and that entire region. We hope that issue gets resolved soon. You know, in Texas, sometimes water can be a rare commodity. When we had droughts here a few years back, folks weren't even allowed to light a cigarette in Wichita Falls for years because of the fear of it causing a fire, and the fire department wouldn't have had enough water to put it out during the drought. So smoking was essentially prohibited here in Wichita Falls. And growing up right next to Lake Michigan in Chicago, that's never an issue I had to be concerned with. Down here, it's a little bit of a different story. Anyways, getting back to hockey, Lone Star in the south also hosting Odessa right now. The Jackal attention, the Brahmas leading the Jackal. Drake Glover with the first goal, and it looks like another was just scored seconds ago. So the goal score has not been updated yet on the NAHL website, but the Brahmas hosting the Jacks, leading 2-0 with 3 minutes to go in the first. Up to suburban Duluth, the Minnesota Wilderness hosting the Aberdeen Wings, leading 1-0 early in the second. Kenai hosting Cooley tonight, the Soldotna Regional Sports Complex, one of the final games that will be played in that rink perhaps ever. The Kenai River Brown Bears have announced that they will not be coming back next season. They've ceased operations for the upcoming year. Minot hosting Brookings. That game has not begun yet, nor has the Fairbanks Ice Dogs Minnesota Magicians game. So 2 Oaks before second period hockey is brought your way. All right, folks, welcome back. Boy, you could hear the crowd just about fired up for the second period of Wildcats hockey presented by American Classifieds. As promised, we've got a special guest on the air joining us for period 2, Ryan Burnett's dad, Roger. Roger, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'd have done better if he just getting knocked down right there.
Referring to the shot by Jeff Skinner, very close call. Camden Burgrave with his 14th save of this hockey game. A much better period for the Wildcats, as you pointed out, Roger, a little bit earlier. Period 1 for the Cats, probably, I'd say, the best period of this series so far.
Energy, much better energy from last night.
Absolutely. And part of that, Colin Shuck, the IceRays broadcaster, and I were talking about it, could be attributed to the ice being a little bit wet at the start of the game yesterday. The players looked like they were skating through mud a little bit. Tonight's been a much better story, much different story. Players on both sides skating a lot better, especially on the Wildcat side. So a long shot from Fleckenstein. Karams off the back of the net. Wraparound attempt from Gammer does not work out. It goes off the side of the goal. And the IceRays will be going into the penalty box here. Did not see exactly what happened, but it looks like Gendro will be calling the IceRays for hooking.
Yeah, behind the play, behind the net there as the puck made its way past the goalie. As is often the case, behind the play, referee happened to be paying attention. So early power play opportunity here for Wildcats.
Cole Gammer going for high sticking, rather not hooking. So Cats with their second power play of this game and second straight. It was an interesting story yesterday and has been for the last couple of weeks, Roger, against the IceRays. The Wildcats have not given up a power play goal against them once, but they've given up 2 short-handed goals against them.
It's been a little bit of an interesting situation, right? We've really been down on the penalty kill here for the last few weeks, and all of a sudden they've picked it up, and lo and behold, all of a sudden we can't keep the shorthanded goals from getting in. But that Brad Power goal the other night, maybe that one was a little bit lucky.
Yeah, certainly could be so, and Wildcats right now closing in on 20 consecutive penalties killed off. Steadily improving penalty kill, which is now 19th best in the league. Just a couple of weeks ago was 22nd. Shot from in tight by Skinner off the blocker of Burgrave. Now it's picked up by Carballo, swung back to Heiser, who will return it. Top of the left circle, Carballo scoots in, slips it on net, not much on it. Burgrave with no difficulty stopping that one. Minute and a half into the second period, 2-1 Wildcats. All 3 goals coming in that first period. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. Hope you're having a great Friday night. We're having fun here on Pack the House Night at K. Yeager Coliseum. Roger, there's a few player parents that are in town, isn't that right?
Lori Waring, as you mentioned last night, is here. Jonathan seems to love playing against Corpus Christi, so
yeah, he does.
I'm sure Lori had a great night last night afterwards at dinner when we all hung out. She was enjoying herself.
I nearly tucked it in. It went through the blue paint. The Waring parents are here as well. And those are all that I'm certain to be here. I'm sure there are probably a couple of others. Waring's got it. Mason Kruger, who's just an Iron Man for the IceRays, plays in all situations. Their captain and future Army Black Knight will join Jared Dempsey next season in West Point, New York. Puck is slapped around out to the half boards for Mason Kruger, who will start with Brad Power. He's going to look to get a pass through for him. Just missed his outstretched stick. And Brad Power, another Corpus Christi, loses it this time. Power and Kruger form the IceRays' top 2 scorers and their top line. They are both veterans. They are the engines, the Corpus Christi IceRays, and have been all season long. Nick Rosa drops it into the slot for Ryan Burnett, who couldn't get a shot away. He will swat it back towards Waring. Picked off. Waring steps and knocks the puck off of Cole Filler, buying enough time for Canal to recollect it.
I'd like to see the Wildcats just get a little bit more set up in the offensive zone on the power play. Give themselves a little bit better opportunity. They're looking a little bit run and gun these days.
Yep, I nearly forgot they were on the man advantage there. The Cats with only really one scoring chance from Nick Rosa, who put it wide through the blue paint. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. Here's Garrett Hallford dropping it to Gammer, who shoots. Moyes with a chest save. Cats dropping to 0 for 2 on their Starbright Cleaners power play. 4 power plays total in this game. No team has converted. There were 10 yesterday in total. Again, no team converted, though the IceRays did score one shorthanded with just 3 seconds left on a Wildcats power play.
Alex, you mentioned last night 60 shots is a sign of a really offensive game. We're just opening the second period, we're already at 30, so one would suggest that we're headed for another one of those kind of games.
Oh, absolutely, and who doesn't love those games? Maybe goaltenders, that's about it. I'd say even Evan Moyes had a fun time last night despite the onslaught that the IceRays put on him. He just had such a tremendous third period, stopping 16 of the IceRays' 17 shots. Novo puts it into the slot for Thompson, who rips it off of Heiser's skates. David Thompson is knocked off it ultimately by Heiser. Now it's picked up by Blake Ripley, who will start it out with Tilley and Walker, the latter of whom charges to the front of the net. Tilley finds him, and he's knocked off the puck by Jestro. Walker loses his stick. Now here comes Lawfren on the counterattack with some numbers. Stops, left circle, gives it across for the trailer. A shot is off the blocker of Moyes, who knocked it into the corner. Now here comes Tilley. Tilley gets shoved from behind and right in front of the Wildcats bench, nothing to be called, and Burgrave will drop it off. The IceRays will start it out of their own zone. Lawfren run into by Matt Hannawall, who opened the scoring for the Wildcats. Then it looked like he might have gotten a piece of the face of Lawfren. Did not look too good getting back up after that hit from Matt Hannawall.
Aggressive play by Matt, good job.
He's had one heck of a start to this game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's played real well.
Matt Hannawall centering Isaac Cabinha and Kevin Fees tonight, a line that no team in its right mind would want to go up against. So Cabinha scrapping away for it right in front of the IceRays bench. We get a whistle and a stoppage of play. Is that for a hand pass? Looks like that's the case.
Well, I got to give credit to CJ Regula playing defense.
Yep.
Boy, caught a little bit yesterday. Not maybe sure of the speed of some of the forwards for Corpus Christi, but by and large, I'd say yeoman's work filling in, doing the job of a defenseman when he's not played that position all year.
That's right, and sometimes that's not really respected. That's a much more difficult adjustment than the contrary. A defenseman jumping up to forward, it's usually more manageable. And for CJ Regula to jump back there, displaying his versatility, playing as a defenseman, excellent job done by him, just playing in that sixth defenseman role for Coach Nelson and the Wildcats. 3 Wildcats blue liners unavailable for last night and for tonight. Wyatt Matthews, Seamus Donahue, and Demantis Sipus, the last of whom should be ready to go for tomorrow. Skvortsov carries in and shoots off the pad. Rebound, Poikala slaps it over to Carballo, who was covered. And Fleckenstein knocks it out to Miller, who gets it ahead for Breyer. Another opportunity for Poikala to shoot the puck that he passed up.
100%. Exactly what I was thinking. We talked about it in the intermission. Alexi, pass first guy, but boy, there's some times where he really has opportunities to score goals, and we'd like to see him pull the trigger there.
And it's not to say that he can't shoot in the slightest. He can absolutely shoot it. He's such a selfless player. He's got great vision, but sometimes he's just got that mentality that leads to one pass too many. Skvortsov with Burnett on a 2-on-1. Skvortsov gives it across for Burnett, who tried to swat it out of the air lacrosse style. Couldn't manage to get it into the net. Good opportunity, but that was a tough play to make. Tripp dropping it to Kruger. Burnett with a good back check. Puck rolls around the end wall, a little bit too far for Brad Power. Skinner to catch up to it along the left wall, who will start down into the Corpus zone and fly it wide of the net into the opposite corner. Burnett and Wilhelm each take a swat at it. Rosa gets it and fires, snagged by Burgrave from the right circle, shot by Nick Rosa.
It's a great example of forechecking pressure right there in the offensive zone. Forced that turnover. Nick had a great opportunity, point blank. Well, not necessarily point blank, kind of face-off circle, but nonetheless, that's a great opportunity.
Certainly a good range shot for Nick Rosa. You mentioned it all started because of the forecheck. Lines being mixed up a little bit. Skinner with Rosa and Burnett here tonight. Poikala now with Skvortsov and Carballo. And either way, I'd say plenty of options and firepower on both of those lines.
Skinner's got great speed. He serves a great role playing on this line with another speedy winger and a very steady center for sure.
Absolutely. Jeff Skinner, one of the heroes of last night's game. Look out here. The IceRays have a 2-on-1. Offside. Tripp had crossed the blue line a little bit prematurely. Power not too happy. He wanted to walk in and wire one, but the linesman said no. Very close call. Power and Josh Tripp crisscrossing there across the blue line, and just one step ahead of the play, it looked like, Josh Tripp. So the faceoff comes back out to center right in front of the IceRays bench. 13:21 to go in the second period. 2-1 Wildcats. No second period scoring has taken place just yet. Regula gives it on over to Kareem Del Ponte. Puck bounces out to center. Backhand pass to Burnett, who's onside. So he will wheel it down the right wall. Rosa meeting up with Jason DeMizio, the 6'3" forward. Skinner gets it to Rosa, who shoots and scores from the side of the net. Nick Rosa found the puck and managed to get it right past an unsuspecting Camden Burgrave. Nick Rosa with goal number 6 on the season has given the Wildcats their first insurance lead of this series.
Nick was due. It was definitely time.
And what a weekend Nick Rosa had last weekend. He was the #1 star of the game on that Friday night 1 week ago today. Had a pair of goals, including the game-tying goal, which paved the way for C.J. Walker's overtime winner, which Nick assisted on. He's another one of those guys, perhaps, Roger, who, like Jonathan Waring, just thrives against these IceRays, perhaps.
Not to discredit Corpus, they've played significantly better than what we saw in September. No doubt about it. It's
Absolutely.
what's got them into the contention for second place, as you've been promoting throughout the weekend. But boy, oh boy, I'll tell you.
Blake Ripley with a couple of point-blank chances right in front of Burgrave. The last goal hadn't even been finished getting announced yet, and Ripley nearly made it 4-1 Wildcats. But Nick Rosa, somebody who's, of his goals this year, 4 out of his 5. Tilly will line up to take an offensive zone face-off to Burgrave side. Regula rolls one in around behind the net. Tilly scrapping for it with 3 IceRays. As is C.J. Walker, who pries it loose. He will spin it in front, ricochets off a knee. Regula holds it in the zone. Puck is on edge. He settles it down. It's flat, and he will shoot. It gets blocked by David Thompson. Outlet pass just beyond the reach of Novo. Loughran takes a hack at it. Tilly can't clear it into the zone. The IceRays will start it into the Wildcats' end. Good pass between the skates of Del Ponte. A shot off the pads of Moyes. Now it's dug loose behind the Cats' goal. Loughran centers. It's jabbed out of there by an alert Del Ponte.
Oh!
And Regula takes
that should have been a high stick for sure.
Nothing called against the IceRays as Regula will shoot from the right side. It's loose in front of the net. No whistle. Tilly jamming away at its side of the net. Can't find a way to tuck it in. And the whistle blows.
Well, that escalated quickly.
The IceRays absolutely dodging a bullet there. That should have been a clear high sticking penalty. Regula took a stick up high. Roger, I couldn't quite identify which IceRay got him with that high stick. But absolutely, you called it. Should have been a penalty. And the IceRays get away with one there.
Not to mention that we didn't let that slow us down on the rush. Led to a very high quality scoring opportunity there. And quite a scrum there down at the end.
You think the fact that Regula knew he had a scoring chance coming up maybe played a little bit of a role into the fact that he didn't try to sell the penalty and he just kept his head down and kept moving?
It's entirely possible. But as you mentioned last night, Alex, it appeared that perhaps the whistle was not in the home team's favor.
No. No, it was not. Though the Wildcats did catch an enormous break, to be fair, when the IceRays scored a goal just after a quick whistle had blown.
Washed out, yeah, for sure. That was definitely a fast whistle.
So Canal with a head fake. His wrist shot gets blocked by Baskerville. The IceRays in transition here as Breyer starts it down the right side. Canal defending him, knocks the puck away with the help of Cabinia. The Wildcats clear. Now they'll have to reset with 11:38 to go in period 2. The Cats leading 3-1. The lone second period goal being scored by Nick Rosa from a side of the net backhand shot past an unalert Camden Burgrave. And now here comes Matt Hannawall. Speedy right winger slams on the brakes and drops it back to Orgel. Orgel tries to find a way to get a shot through traffic. It gets past Breyer, and Fees, hung up by him momentarily, gets some separation and puts it behind the net. Cabinia will drop it. A centering pass from Hannawall all the way through for Canal, whose shot changed direction and changed speeds. And now Breyer will fly down the right side trying to get a partial breakaway. Orgel cuts him off, and Breyer's shot from the top of the right circle, gloved by Moyes. Outlet pass wide open behind the defense is Fees, but he's at the end of a shift and tired. He will shoot right into the glove of Burgrave, who will take a whistle. It was,
boy, how about last night? That was a heck of a heavyweight bout, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got to have dinner with Kevin last night, and
right?
I was giving him a little bit of crap for all of the Band-Aids he had on his chin.
Did he have some Band-Aids on there?
Yeah. But to your point, I felt like he fought him to a draw as well. It was Two heavyweights definitely going at it.
Absolutely,
Like
both of them.
Like you said, I think maybe the Friday night crowd might have preferred that a little bit more than the Thursday night crowd, but boy, it was a good fight, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no question. And that got the Wildcats going. Turned over here. Carballo's got a breakaway. Into the net.
Oh,
shoots
Ricky
off the crossbar.
almost. Wow.
Boy, the IceRays just nearly crossed it over their own blue line. Carballo picked it off. Nice read and good steal of possession. Nearly tucked it inside the crossbar. It just bounced off the outside of it and bounced out of play off the netting. So not sure if you noticed this or not, Roger, but Tucker White, the guy who Kevin Fees fought against yesterday, not in the lineup tonight. Not sure if you heard why, but he separated his shoulder because of the fight.
Really?
Yep. IceRays into the attacking zone. A slap shot deflects just wide of the net from Moyes, and the Cats will be able to get this puck out of their own zone.
So it wasn't just Band-Aids.
Nope. And it wasn't just Fees who was dinged up from it either. Both players took their fair share of punches. I know Fees was a little bit down on himself after the fight, said he felt like he definitely lost it, but upon watching it a second time, he realized it was a lot more even than he originally thought. It was one heck of a scrap. In case you missed it, folks, it will be in the highlights video posted on Monday. Don't you worry about it. Carballo goes behind the IceRays net. He spots it and looks for Heiser, swings it backdoor for Sportsov. It's picked off by Cole Filler. Up to Jason DeMizio on the left wing side. He will take a heavy wrist shot right into the glove of Evan Moyes. We are now halfway through this three-game series. 3-1 Wildcats here on Pack the House night. The IceRays have now taken 12 consecutive games in which they've at least gotten a point. Hopefully I don't jinx that, knocking on wood here. Dating all the way back to January 27th, the Odessa Jackalopes were the last team to defeat them in regulation out at the Jack Shack. So we head to our second period media timeout. We're going to take a quick break, folks, and be right back with you in a few minutes. Stay with us. All right, so the IceRays will go to work. Offensive zone draw. DeMizio lets it go right off the faceoff. A bang-bang play. Moyes had to be ready. He was. Kicked out the right leg and made a pad stop. Moyes again playing pretty solid for the Wildcats. 16 of 17 on the night so far, which were his numbers exactly in the third period yesterday. Regula picks up the puck after it was sticked aside from Moyes on that IceRays dump-in. Rosa charges in after it on the right side. He's joined by Ryan Burnett, who goes to the front of the goal. Rosa with a shot. Nearly got the stick of Burnett. Perhaps that's what he was hoping for. Burnett settles the puck down in the left circle, but can't pull the trigger as Wilhelm was right in his face. Well, Halford knocks Rosa off the puck. Del Ponte with a good step to try to jar it away from Gammer as the puck squirts out to center. And Ian Gendro, not sure what he was signaling there. But the whistle and the play, whistle blows and the play is blown dead. 9:05 to go in the second. Cats leading 3-1. 5 p.m. Central Time, the scheduled puck drop here at the K. Yeager Coliseum, the final game of this three-game homestand. Hope to see you out here.
If you haven't seen the game yet this year, you're running out of time.
That's right. This is the fourth to last home game of the regular season. A shot from DeMizio knocked aside by Moyes. What a game DeMizio's having for the IceRays.
Series. DeMizio's played real well both games.
Oh, absolutely.
He really hasn't shown up much in the competition up until this point, so I'd say Halford, same thing. Number 10 for Corpus Christi has really, especially yesterday, played just great.
Oh, he did. Absolutely. And tonight, he's not getting anywhere near as much ice time because Josh Tripp has taken his spot on that top line. Ryan Burnett flies down his off wing after the puck. Yanni knocks him off of it and off balance, and Skinner takes a swat at it. Two sticks together, canceling, and the puck ultimately goes out of play and off the netting once more.
So I'm sure you can imagine, Alex, as a parent, watching your son get hit from behind, put on the ice like Ryan was just before the Prospect Showcase was a really tough thing to watch as a parent, but I was really proud of him, the way he responded, and really hasn't seemed to slow him down. So
absolutely
really happy about that.
If anything, it sped him up. He's been probably the hottest Wildcat of late. 7 points in his last 8 games, not too shabby. You get a chance to go to the Top Prospects tournament and see any of it?
I did not. Unfortunately, I was out of town, but I had many members of my friends and family, bunch of people there watching, making sure that Ryan was okay, and did as best as he possibly could considering the situation, which, boy.
IceRays getting a breakaway here. Lofgren is hooked by Canal. He goes down, and a penalty will be called here. Will this be a shot? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's calling it right there.
That is a penalty shot.
Yeah, and you know what, Alex, the problem I have with that, closest to that play, neither one of them raised their arm. It was the trail official that decided that A, it was a penalty, and B, it was a penalty shot.
So a tough call. It goes against the Wildcats here. Griffin Lofgren found the puck on his stick. He's got some hands. He's a crafty winger for Brad Flynn and the IceRays, and is going to try to redeem himself after being absolutely robbed last night by Evan Moyes on essentially a point-blank shot. He had an opportunity today earlier as well in the first period. So here is Griffin Lofgren on a penalty shot to try to bring the IceRays to within 1. Stopped by Moyes. Got a piece of his block around it and knocked it wide of the goal.
Wasn't Lofgren also one of the shootout players last night as well?
I believe so. Yes, he was.
So clearly the Corpus Christi Brain Trust has confidence in Griffin and his ability to do what he just did. Fortunately, Evan was up to the task.
No doubt. Griffin Lofgren, very skilled. He's an ex-USHLer. Played with the Youngstown Phantoms. Very good playmaking winger, good hands. And here's a fun fact for you, Roger. Evan Moyes is the only goaltender in the entire league who's faced at least 10 shots in the shootout and is still perfect in shootouts.
Nice.
So Kevin Fees swats it over the blue line. Matt Hanawal on a 2-on-3 developing with speed, charges down the left wing and shoots wide of the glove side post of Burgrave. Swatted down the right wall by Jonathan Waring. Reversed from Hanawal to Cabinia. He's tied up by Tripp. Tripp gives him an extra shove. And then he goes down from Cabinia. Nothing being called here. Waring unable to keep the puck in the zone at the right point. He will circle back out to center. 7 minutes to go in period 2. Cats leading 3-1. Last goal being scored by Nick Rosa earlier in this period.
Brendan Miller and Johnny Waring a little dust up behind the play there by the Wildcat bench.
I think I saw that. Carballo picks the pocket of Miller and scoots in and fires well wide of the right post. We always see hostilities increase, especially with two teams that have played each other now 4 consecutive times, going on 5 tomorrow night. Can't even begin to imagine what that will be like tomorrow.
Yeah, those 5 and 6 game series in a row definitely breed some hostility, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. Carballo for Poikala down the left side. Throws it the width of the goal. Skvortsov scores from a nearly impossible angle. Ilya Skvortsov from the right corner shot it off of the glove side of Camden Burgrave. Somehow it snuck through. And in a beautiful assist, a beautiful pass from Poikala over to Skvortsov, the width of the ice, and Skvortsov tucked it in from the right side of the goal line. And that is the end of the line for Camden Burgrave. Vamachka is in and Burgrave is out.
All right, I'm just going to say it right now. If that's not a play of the week, I don't know what is.
Right?
That was below the red line, all the way in the corner. That was a fantastic goal. Ilya's a very creative hockey player, and that was yet another example of his creativity, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. Ilya Skvortsov's first goal in 5 games, and I'm not sure there's another Wildcat on the ice on this team who could have scored from there. He's known for his ability to score from very difficult angles. He's done it a number of times this season. Josh Tripp puts it behind the Wildcats net. Squirts out, picks the pocket of Kruger. Gives it up to Alexei Poikala. Beautiful pass up to CJ Regula. Poikala's stick has come alive in this game. He's got 2 assists. Regula down the right side, driving it wide on Jestro. Hooked by Jestro, falls down, loses the puck. Loses an edge as well, and the IceRays out with it as a result on a 3-on-2 developing as Kruger cuts in over the blue line, swivels one across the blue paint, and a penalty will be called against the Wildcats. Boy, that was pretty one-sided. That was a one-sided 30 seconds. And a right point shot doesn't get through. Sent down towards the corner for Brad Power. Kruger gets it back and fires. That was a scorcher that Moyes never saw. Fortunately for him, it just missed. Yanni tried to give it across the ice, bounced off the skate of Carvalho. The IceRays with 6 attackers right now in this delayed penalty. Jestro with a long flip shot got through the screen, but it went into the corner. Yanni will bounce one back to Jestro over his stick, and it wobbles towards the empty net ever so slowly. Jestro gets his stick on it, Carvalho pressuring him. This delayed penalty has gone on for at least 45 seconds here. The Wildcats have not gotten their sticks on this puck. As soon as they do, the whistle will blow, and finally that happens. And Josh Tripp took a run at CJ Regula, who flattened him.
So, Alex, I don't know if you remember last year, Ryan scored a goal on a delayed penalty call against the Wildcats and never touched the puck.
Against the Wildcats?
Correct.
Wait, who scored the goal?
Ryan did. So the opposing team pulled their goalie, took the puck down into their defensive zone, and the defenseman
I remember.
took a hit to his stick, and the puck went in the net, and Ryan got credited for the goal.
I do remember that. That was very strange.
You'd mentioned last night Brendan Miller's goal on Evan and how easy that was, and I immediately thought of just how easy that goal Ryan scored last year.
Oh, man. That might have been the strangest goal all year.
All year, definitely. As they say often in hockey, they don't count how many, they count how.
Right? Burnett becoming the first Wildcat this season to reach the 20-goal plateau. Fleckenstein right off the faceoff drives a one-timer off the shoulder of Moyes. The puck's been cleared.
Yeah, not that I'm keeping track, but Ryan's tied for 19th in the league in goals.
Not too proud?
Just a little bit. Happy to see his progress year over year. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. We're seeing a lot of plays that he's made this season that he would not have made at the start of last season. Josh Tripp swivels through center. Across the blue line for Lawford, who put it into the middle for Miller, who shoots, and he's denied by Evan Moyes. He had some help there. Miller had Matt Acioli pinching down the left side, Cole Filler in the slot. Had to shoot it because Orgel kind of stymied his progress there, forced Miller to take the shot. And Moyes came up with another big point-blank save. He's now 19 of 20 on the night.
As is any 4-1 hockey game, Alex, one expects, as we've got 4:15 left in the second period, that perhaps the physicality might pick up from the Corpus side. Definitely, as you mentioned, we're four out of 5 games in at this point. If things don't start to turn towards the Corpus side, one would expect that perhaps we might see a little bit more physical play for sure.
Right, and it seems to me like the IceRays were probably a little bit more susceptible to that last season, sort of losing their composure a little bit and taking needless penalties than they have been this season. They're a lot more skilled and a lot more deep this year.
Oh, yeah. This is not last year's IceRays by any stretch of the imagination.
Not in the slightest. And one of the changes Brad Flynn wanted to implement upon coming here was to make the team more creative, more offensive, more fun to watch. And I'd say he's certainly done at least that, though over the last few weeks, part of the reason they've gone on such a tremendous run has been their adjustment to playing sort of more simple hockey, more playoff-style hockey. They're getting themselves ready for a deep postseason run. Moyes covers up the puck at the side of the net.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting and not simple postseason for even Lone Star. I don't believe whomever they should draw in the first round. I know there's been a lot of discussion about the battle for second place and wanting to get that 2-3 matchup, but should it be Corpus in the 1-4? I don't think Lone Star should be resting on their laurels by any stretch of the imagination. Corpus is a very good hockey team.
Yep, and every team in the race right now Odessa and Amarillo still technically have not yet been eliminated. The playoff picture is starting to shape out. It would take nothing short of a miracle for one of those teams to make it now. The magic number being just 5 for the Wildcats at this point. If they win tonight and tomorrow night, and if the Brahmas win just tonight over the Jacks, then the Cats have clinched a spot. Here's a chance for Thompson. One-timer denied by Evan Moyes. What a save! Wow. Unbelievable stop by Evan Moyes. A one-timer from the IceRays' best goal scorer, David Thompson from the left circle, who has been a Wildcats killer. Roger, he's got 6 goals against the Cats this season.
What'd you say, one third of his production?
1/3 of his goal total.
1/3. I'll tell you what, all hockey players lay in bed after the game and think about what happened that night. I promise you David Thompson's going to want that one back.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not sure he put that exactly where he wanted to. He sort of shot far side, which is where Moyes was located.
Yeah, he had short side wide open. He just missed that one.
But nevertheless, what a stop by Evan Moyes. And not giving up a rebound, even more importantly.
No rebound was key, definitely.
So the IceRays have just dropped their 3rd straight power play here in this game and their 9th straight on the series. A penalty called against them, and the Cats back to the power play. Head contact against Corpus Christi. The defenseman, Matt Acioli, is going to have a seat. Acioli, pretty good puck-moving defenseman for the IceRays. The unavailable for this Corpus Christi penalty kill. The Cats' power play is also not yet converted here in this series. The sample size has been a little bit smaller. They're 0 for 6 at the moment, though Ryan Orgel might as well have scored a power play goal earlier. It was immediately after the man advantage had expired. So Poikla will line up to take this face-off, wins it against Baskerville. Skvortsov gets it at the top of the right circle. He starts it down the half boards. Poikla is behind the net, gets the return pass, does Skvortsov, then gives it back to Alexi. Alexi surveying his options from in behind the IceRays goal. Skvortsov now from the right corner, patiently waiting with it, slides it slowly back to Orgel, touch pass to Roman Canal. Skvortsov slips it between the skates of Canal where it's picked off by Yanni. Connor Yanni up to Brendan Miller, who charges wide, powers his way to the net, shoots and scores. A short-handed goal for the IceRays. Brendan Miller has cut the Wildcats' lead to just 2. The IceRays with their 2nd short-handed goal in as many games, and it's 4-2 Cats. Boy, what is it about these Wildcats power plays that just causes them to carelessly turn the puck over? I'm not sure what it is, but it can't continue in the postseason, that's for sure.
That's valuing the puck, Alex. He put that pass between Roman's skates, and their coverage model had 2 forwards high, so immediately they had a 2-on-1.
Right. And not sure if Coach Nelson is going to mix up the power play personnel, perhaps put some more defensemen out there instead of just having one opportunity in front of the net for Burnett, knocked aside by Vamachka.
It's not dissimilar from the tip opportunity Ryan had in the 3rd period last night where he put it over the crossbar and up into the net.
Oh, that's right. Man, was that a close call.
Really close.
Not sure if he had enough room there to settle the puck down and get a shot away, sort of just try to deflect the right play there. If he tries to settle that puck down and dust it off, Vamachka's going to be right on top of him.
Either that or the defenseman puts him on his back, one way
right?
or the other.
Orgel from the left corner. The Cats still with some time left on the power play, though they might as well try to kill it off themselves the way it's gone of late. Burnett from the left point starts down the half boards. Will he pull the trigger? He will. He rifles one wide of the far side post. Orgel holds it in the zone nicely, swatted back to him. Plays it down the right half boards past Skinner. Burnett accelerates it along down the goal line. Rosa wedged off the puck by Logan Jestro. Gets back on it. Does the Wildcats co-captain up to Waring. He can really bring it. He will walk and wire off the blocker of Vamachka. Rosa reverses it down the boards. Burnett is there, parked behind the net, who gets the return from Skinner. Back up to the right point, it's Orgel. Waring wants it. Orgel distributes it to Burnett on the right circle. He will shoot, blocked by Jestro. And the puck's been cleared out to Orgel, but not out. Over to Waring, DDD pass. Left point. Jonathan Waring down to Rosa. Rosa spins away from Filler, twisting and turning and giving it down to Skinner. Skinner back to Rosa, behind the IceRays net, tries to score from an impossible angle. Vamachka had some trouble with it. And Skinner gets right back on it. Time winding down on the Wildcats power play. Just about done. Orgel from the right side. Can't find a shooting lane. Good puck moving by the Cats on the power play, but nothing to show for it except a goal against. Now the puck's been chipped past Orgel, or Waring rather. Orgel covering ground, and Waring will go to the box for interference. He was caught, and he took the body instead of the puck. And in that situation, Waring's got to let the forward go. He knew he was burnt, so he lunged out at him and knocked him down to the ice. The Wildcats defenseman to the box.
That's the paradox of hockey right there, Alex. They had the best power play they've had far and away in this series, and they gave up a shorthanded goal and took a penalty.
It's strange how the game works sometimes, isn't it? Corpus Christi back to the power play, the likes of which is 0 for 3 on the night, 0 for 9 in this series. Cabinia prying away at Brad Power, who wins the puck from him, scoots into the middle and shoots. Well off speed and well off target. David Thompson swings it up across the ice, picked up by Cabinia, kept in the zone, long shot turned aside by Moyes. Thompson from the left corner, now to Power. Sandwiched by Roman Canal along the corner boards. Thompson picks up a loose puck in behind the net. Starts it out to the right half wall. Good cross-ice pass for Power, who walks in and shoots, missing the left post. Isaac Cabinia over there, far half boards.
Well, they dodged a bullet there.
Comes to an end.
Really dodged a bullet there. That Corpus had a lot of pressure there in the final 10 seconds of that period. You always hear the story about how unfortunate it is to give up goals in the final 2 minutes of a period, and they came very, very close to having that exact thing happen, given the fact that 4-2 is where we end the second period. That 4-3 goal would have been really, really tough to go to the locker room, having the sting of that.
Oh, absolutely. That would have made so much of a difference. And for the IceRays, it would have helped them out tremendously. Would have needed absolutely no words from the coaching staff to get themselves motivated to come back out hard in period 3. 4-2 deficit looks a lot more daunting than a 4-3 one does. So the Wildcats still with the lead despite giving up another shorthanded goal in this series, which has been a problem against the IceRays. 3 shorthanded goals in the last 4 games against Corpus Christi. If that's not an issue, I don't know what is. So that's definitely going to have to be addressed by the Wildcats. Coach Josh Nelson in the next week of practice. I'm sure we'll see him mix him up in personnel. Nevertheless, the Cats go to the second intermission with a 4-2 lead. 2-1 outscoring the IceRays in that second period. Generally speaking, Roger, in that second period, anything you'd like to remark on?
Continuation of what I'd say is a much stronger game for the Wildcats here in game 2 of this series. The bounces worked our way that period, which was really, really fortunate. Kind of a lot like last night. The effort's better tonight than it was last night, but we definitely benefited from the home bounce,
right? Which
we definitely did not benefit from in our time in Corpus. So these things have a way of evening themselves out over the course of a series. But it's going to make for an interesting third period. I mean, we're looking at only really a 5-shot differential between the two clubs as we entered the third concerted effort out of Corpus. They know where they're at. They know what they're trying to accomplish from a positioning perspective. So I'm expecting the kitchen sink's going to get thrown at us, and we're going to hope that Evan's going to continue his strong play and goal, and that we're going to come away with this thing victorious.
That's a good way to put it. Everything but the kitchen sink, and perhaps even the kitchen sink itself, might be thrown at the Wildcats in period 3. Last night, fortunately, the Wildcats have this to bank on. Evan Moyes was tremendous in the third period. Glorious grade A scoring chances. So, but the Wildcats cannot rest on that. They've got to continue to lock it down defensively and make some good defensive plays. We've seen a lot of good defensive stick checks and back checks from their forwards. And for the most part, the best opportunities the IceRays have had to score have come on Wildcats power plays.
Short-handed, so, right? Just don't go on a power play, and everything will be fine.
If you go on, kill it off yourself. Put all the defensive specialists out there. Put Cabinia and Rosa out there.
We keep telling the Null that it would be great for the opportunity to decline a power play.
Well, at this point, I'd say that'd be the best option for the Wildcats. The Boston Bruins had a similar problem a few years ago. I remember back, can't remember what year it was exactly. I want to say it was their Cup run. They went all the way to the Stanley Cup Championship against the Chicago Blackhawks, that 2014 or 15 season, I believe it was, and The Boston Bruins were, I think, converting at around 9% on the power play that season. In the playoffs, it was even worse, I think. And they would literally skate back into their own zone when they had power plays. Dano Chara, Torrey Krug, and their defensemen would just kind of do give and go passes, play catch with it until their power play ended, because they were so dominant on the 5-on-5. That's how they preferred to play.
Yeah.
And we might be that might be not too far off for where the Wildcats are off. Just a horrendous effort on the last few power plays, though. In the offensive zone on that last one, they definitely picked it up after giving up that shorthanded goal. It's just a shame that's what it took to wake them up. But overall, a good performance by the Wildcats, generally speaking. They lead 4-2 through the first 40 minutes. Roger, thanks so much for taking time out of the game and coming up and helping me out with the broadcast here in the second period. Did a great job, and it was a lot of fun.
I loved it, and I'm hoping maybe there might be a Saturday night repeat, Alex. Let's see what we can do.
We'll see. Well, great job, Roger, again, and thanks so much for helping me out. Go enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
No problem anytime. That's Wildcats forward Ryan Burnett's dad, Roger, joining me on the air for the second period of Wildcats hockey. 4-2 Wildcats. Thanks so much for tuning in with us, folks. We're glad to have you with us. We're going to step aside here at the KYC and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some scoreboard updates from around the league and break down those first 40 minutes for you in greater detail. That and more coming your way shortly. Stay tuned, folks. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Sorry for that long delay. We didn't have time for an intermission report this time around. Wildcats IceRays here at KYC, the Pack the House night, the middle game of this three-game homestand, the last one of the season for the Wildcats, who have a 4-2 lead over the IceRays here at the start of the third. A minute and 20 to go on the penalty served by Jonathan Waring that he took late in that second period. The IceRays nearly came back to make it a one-goal game, though it fell just short. So have a two-goal deficit to make up here in period three. It's brought through the middle of the ice over the blue line. Brad Power stops and will swing the puck down the right half boards. Nathan Breyer advances it. Thompson can't get the pass. Rosa slams it down the ice with authority. Bounces off the left corner past Vamachka in the IceRays zone, and Jestro will get it and reset for Corpus Christi. 49 to go on this IceRays power play. The Wildcats penalty kill has been absolutely stellar against Corpus Christi tonight and last weekend and yesterday. Thompson wheels into the slot. Jestro's one-timer off the inside of the post, and it stays out. Huge break for the Wildcats. That was such a close call. Went off the inside of the right post and bounced along the goal line and stayed out of the net. Just 1 minute into this third period, 20 seconds to go on the penalty against Jonathan Waring. IceRays with one last rush on this power play. We'll try to get something going. Poikila stymies the attack and flips it back down. Vamachka to dish it out to Matt Acioli. Acioli flies down the wing and banks it past Ryan Orgel into the left corner in the Cat zone. Loughran is rubbed out by Zach Heiser. Tilley knocked off of it by Josh Tripp. Waring's left out of the box, and Walker takes his place. Loughran can't intercept the clearing attempt, and the Cats are off to the races on a 3-on-2 with the Tilley line out there. Tilley gets it from Walker, bounces it to Ripley, who shoots. Vamachka is down with the pad save, and now Ripley rolls it out to the right corner. Regula steps in to pick it up, gives it back down to Ripley. Shout out to the Ripley family tuned in from Wanaki, Wisconsin, Blake's hometown. Thanks so much to the Ripleys for supporting Blake and your Wildcats. Hope you're having a great Friday night. Sorry I didn't get a shout out to you earlier. A little bit distracted with Roger Burnett up here. Did a great job on the color mic. Great to have a color guy up here. Makes it a little bit easier having a second pair of eyes, especially with someone who knows the sport as well as he does. Regula and Walker managed to come together to keep the puck alive only for a few seconds before Fleckenstein flips it back down. Evan Moyes plays it out to Roman Canal. Puck bounces dangerously in front of the net, and now Sportsov will pick it up, has his stick lifted and his pocket picked by Gammer, whose turnaround shot gets blocked, and the puck rattles back out to center ice. Fleckenstein marching it back in. Easy stick save made by Moyes on his shot. Regula will finish him off behind the Wildcats net. Fleckenstein's got Garrett Halford covering for him. Poikila will flip it up and down the ice, lands flat on the stick for Carballo, who's onside. Can't widget his way past Connor Yanni, who made a nice defensive play. And now Poikila lifts the stick of Yanni. Puck is somewhere between him and Fleckenstein. Yanni's stick still wrapped up by Poikila. Finally, the IceRays managed to get it out off the skate of Brad Power, who springs a man ahead, and Cole Filler, who stops and shoots, missing well out of the right peg. And now Jestro is knocked off the puck. Sportsov carries down the left wing and fires off the blocker of Vamachka. Sportsov, the most recent goal scorer for the Wildcats on that nearly impossible angle from the right corner near the half boards, managed to tuck it in. Blocker's side, I believe it was Blocker's side on Camden Burgrave, who was pulled from the game after that goal. Kruger dances in and shoots, save, rebound, score! And this is getting waved off. The IceRays are getting furious after that goal is being waved off by Ian Gendro. They scored. That was a clear goal for Corpus Christi. The light came off. The net came off as well, and Ian Gendro discussing this call with his linesman. This goal might stand. Absolutely should be a goal for Corpus Christi. Another quick whistle and potentially another goal canceled for the IceRays. They had one last night, which they weren't too happy about. And that goal should absolutely stand. Mason Kruger deked his way into the slot, got a good shot away, and on the rebound, I believe it was either Power or Tripp who bashed it home past Evan Moyes. The IceRays should be within one, and it is a goal. The IceRays have scored, and they are within one. 4-3 Wildcats early in the third. So unlike last night, the call has been reversed. Yesterday, the goal was waved off, and it would not be reversed. Today, different story. Ultimately, however, the right call made on the ice, and now the Cats might find themselves on their heels a little bit. They've seen their 3-goal lead dissipate to just 1. It's been said so many times that a 3-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey. And right now, the IceRays are trying to prove that to be the case. So far, doing a good job. 4-3 your score, just 4 minutes into this third period. Tons of time remaining. Moyes flips it out to Jeff Skinner. The Wildcats are going to try to stay on their toes and not on their heels for the next 16 minutes. Fleckenstein for Corpus Christi. Patiently waits before making the right decision with the puck, which was to angle it off the glass, though he missed the intended target, Mason Kruger. So icing is called against Corpus Christi. Jeff Skinner and his veteran line mates Nick Rosa, Ryan Burnett will take an offensive zone faceoff to Vamachka's glove side on his left. Rosa sidesteps Kruger right off the draw. Fleckenstein picks his pocket, can't get it past Skinner. Josh Tripp bounces one back to Fleckenstein, who's pinned up by Nick Rosa. Skinner sandwiched off the puck by Aizioli. He gets back on it. Tripp rolls it back to Kruger. IceRays pinned up in their own zone for quite some time. They finally get it out. Puck was in the air, gloved down by Power, who settles it down and shoots. Gets blocked by C.J. Regula's blade. Goes in after it behind the net. Does the Wildcats forward turn defenseman for the weekend, at least for the first 2 games of the series. Now the puck rolls loose into the blue paint, and Moyes covers it up. 5 minutes into the third, 4-3 Wildcats. 2 unanswered goals scored by Corpus Christi to respond to 4 straight Wildcats goals. Corpus opened the scoring off of an Evan Moyes turnover behind the Cats' net. Matt Novo scoring his 2nd goal of the season, and 2nd as an IceRay. The Cats responded with 2 unanswered goals in the first period and then 2 more in the second. Here's a chance for Corpus Christi off the post, right off of an offensive zone faceoff. Yanni puts it down in the right corner. Miller trying to settle that puck down. We get a whistle for a hand pass, so the faceoff will exit the Wildcat zone. Boy, the IceRays just not giving up, absolutely buzzing, trying to get the tying goal here. Again, Corpus Christi has not lost a game in regulation since January 27th. Matt Hanawal wins the neutral zone faceoff right in front of the Wildcats bench. Canal, D-to-D for Orgel. Slapped it well too far out of the reach of Hanawal. Canal getting back on it down the left side. Lobs it into the left corner, takes a bounce off the boards. And around for Vamachka, who will spin it out to Miller. Kept in the zone by Orgel. Long shot deflected into the glove of Vamachka. Ever since he's been placed into this game, it's been a completely different story. And tell you what, folks, from a coach's perspective, I can almost guarantee you the reason that Burgrave was pulled was not because of his play, but because of the team's. And sometimes, oftentimes, when a goaltender is pulled, it's not so much because he's playing poorly, it's because the players in front of him are, and the coach needs to do something drastic to change things up and get the players' attention, get them to wake up a little bit, and that tactic from Brad Flynn certainly has paid off. Griffin Loughran down the right side, trying to drop it off for the trailer. It was intercepted. Ripley swats it back over for Orgel, who's passed between the skates and the stick of Walker. Ripley should have nullified the icing. He was first to it, but icing's been called regardless. I've been frozen at the 14:03 mark because I don't think I've seen the clock move. Six minutes gone by in the third period, 4-3 Wildcats. David Thompson lifting the stick of Stephen Tilley down there. Canal Demizio fighting for it. Aizioli can't hold it at the right point, left point rather. He has to scurry back out to center. Wilhelm gets it in his own zone. Hot pass to Thompson. While falling, manages to spring Aizioli with a good pass. Rims it around the wall. Demizio crunched up by Waring along the half boards. Loughran passed it to himself, spins it in front, knocked out of there by Orgel. Loughran still chopping away. It comes loose and Tilly pushes it up for Walker, who will just fly one in. It bounces just wide of Vamachka. Walker and Vamachka, both 17 years of age. Vamachka about a month younger than CJ Walker, who will turn 18 in April. Vamachka will turn 18 in May. Two youngest players for their teams. Oikola's pass finds Skvortsov on the tape. Circles back into a zone, and will start it out to center. He's able to slip past Garrett Halford, then drop it for Carballo from the right half boards. Tries to swing one over to Heiser. It was intercepted. Good recovery there by Carballo to prevent a 3-on-2 IceRays rush. Puck is flipped wide right of the net by Cole Filler of Corpus Christi. Heiser will bounce one out to Carballo on the right side of the ice. He's hacked down there right in front of the penalty boxes and the timekeepers. Logan Jestro skies one high into the air, and it bounces and lands into the Wildcat zone. 12:22 to go in period 3. 4-3 Wildcats here at K. Yeager Coliseum here on Pack the House night. Carballo shoved off the puck by Jestro. Mason Kruger bounces one off the corner. Skinner can't find a way to keep it in the attacking zone as Kruger will sky one off the glass and back out. Waring finishes his check on Halford. Here comes Jestro in the meantime down the left wing side. The defenseman leads the rush. Dropped for Halford, left point, who will roll one in behind the net. The puck skitters in front, intercepted and taken out through center by Nick Rosa. Got Kareem Del Ponte going with him. Del Ponte will slam on the brakes as Rosa goes to fetch it. Skinner will throw it across the slot. Nearly found Ryan Burnett, just a little bit behind his reach. Oh, it's given across from Power to Kruger, who will shoot, stopped by Moyes. And now it's Tripp, knocked off of it by Regula. Puck pinballs just past Skinner. Nice keep at the blue line by Matt Acioli. Power scoots in, gives it across. Great stick check by CJ Regula. Fleckenstein with a long shot that didn't get through. Fleckenstein has it now in his own zone. Mason Kruger out at center. Able to give it up to Brad Power, who's joined by Tripp and Kruger. Power will blast it from the left point. That's stopped by Evan Moyes. Approaching the halfway point of this third period, a much more quiet few minutes after the IceRays drew to within one, which is a huge momentum booster. Certainly would have helped their spirits going into the third period, knowing that they were just a goal behind. The Cats were fortunate they were 2 goals behind. And again, the power play doing tremendous work on the weekend. Now 10 for 10, the Wildcats penalty kill. I should have said, not their power play. Power play's not been quite as good. Giving up 2 shorthanded goals, which is never a great sign. Though offensively, it's been all right. They have not managed to score yet on the man advantage on the weekend series. Hannawall for Orgel, who had some trouble with it. Rolls loose out to Miller in the far corner, who's got a goal tonight. Sharp angle shot swallowed up by Moyes, who gives no rebound. Baskerville will line up and win the offensive zone faceoff for Corpus Christi. Long shot deflected wide. Shot in front of that by Baskerville, who put it just high and over the net and directly out of play. And we can only hope we don't start to see what we saw last night in the third period, which was essentially a merciless and endless onslaught of Corpus Christi offensive zone faceoff wins and shots, and just forcing Moyes to be spectacular under pressure, which fortunately for the Wildcats he was. Ripley with a big face-off win, and just like that, the Cats alleviate all kinds of pressure. It's spun out towards Heiser, who starts in after it. Batted down from Tilly, taken by Walker, back to Tilly in the left circle. Put it back in front for Walker. Can't get a shot away. Centers all the way through for Heiser. Left circle with a head fake, then a spinorama to get past Breyer. Cuts into the circle and shoots. Blocked by David Baskerville. The IceRays bounce it off the glass, held in by Heiser, not for long, knocked out of there, and here comes Miller down the right side, who goes wide on Waring and backhands it, and Moyes saves it. Rebound, Baskerville's shot, loose on the doorstep. Moyes stopped it, and the whistle blows the play dead. Like Moyes was trucked there on the way through. Brendan Miller and perhaps David Baskerville with some contact on the Wildcats goaltender. Don't think there will be a penalty merited from that, but if a goal would have been scored, I'm not sure it would have counted. And no, perhaps there will be a penalty. Goaltender interference, I believe, against Corpus. IceRays have had 4 power plays tonight. The Wildcats have had 3. None of them have come through. David Baskerville guilty of goaltender interference for trucking Evan Moyes. It's the Wildcats' number 1 line tonight. Nick Rosa, Ryan Burnett, and Jeff Skinner up front. The defensemen Orgel and Waring, both of whom have played a huge part on 2 Wildcats goals here this evening, their first 2 in the opening period. Mason Kruger starts it out to center, knocked off of it by Waring. Regrouping now with his teammates Nick Rosa. All 5 Wildcats will start from behind the ice, or behind the net, really flying V style. They exit their own zone. Rosa chips it past Fleckenstein, then goes in after it. Yanni beat him to it. Rosa stole it from him. Orgel right half boards. Skinner. Rosa's in front of the net. Burnett is backdoor. Skinner weaves his way to behind the goal and feeds Ryan Burnett. Up to the top for Waring. Walks the blue line, redistributes it. Burnett top of the left circle, down to the goal line again. Skinner put it across. Shot from Rosa, turned aside by Vomachka. And the IceRays can't clear it. Burnett again with a good keep, but he stumbles. And as a result, Brad Power steals it from him and will take it out to center, joined by Kruger. He will blast one, swallowed up by Evan Moyes. Brad Power loves to just skate in down that left side and rip heavy clappers. None of them yet have squeaked through Moyes, but he's going to keep trying them. 9:15 to go in the third. Cats leading the IceRays 4-3. They've given up 2 unanswered goals, and the IceRays are right to within striking distance here. Filler now against Ricky Carballo on the face-off dot. The Wildcats' leading scorer getting the job done, winning a key draw. Back-to-back big defensive zone face-offs won by Carballo and Ripley, neither of whom are typically play the center spot in that same circle. Poikala spins with it right point rather. Canal calling for it. Carballo getting it at the goal line. Poikala can't feed Canal as Filler beat him to it and cleared it down. 32 seconds to go on this Wildcats power play, brought to you by Starbright Cleaners. It's been 0 for on the series, 0 for 7 to be exact. Poikala flies down the right side after getting the pass from Skvortsov, then dropping it back for him. And the Russian slams on the brakes. Heiser calls for it. Skvortsov gets the return from Poikala. Skvortsov tries to go up to the top for Heiser. Went off of an IceRays stick. It was Brendan Miller getting his stick in the lane. Skinner gives it, or Poikala rather, to Carballo. We'll get it back from him. Put it across for Skvortsov. It was near his glove instead of his stick. Canal from the right point. Bounces one back behind the net. Poikala will swing it up to the top. Easily intercepted by Miller, who will try to feed one through. Nearly had a breakaway. Easy interception for Skvortsov. Onside here is Carballo as he starts it down the right wing and shoots. Shouldered away by Tomas Vomachka. 8 minutes to go in the third. Cats leading 4-3. Drive from Regula after entering the zone. It looked like the Cats might have been offside on that end. According to the linesman, they're good to go here. Del Ponte will keep it in the zone, but his pass over to Regula just bounced across the blue line. Cats regrouping. Ripley gives one rink wide. Del Ponte advances it as far as the IceRays blue line. Logan Jestro is checked by Tilley. Jestro back on it, slapped it well too far out of the reach of Demizio, who recovers after Regula bobbled it. Demizio centers, it's loose in the slot, and now picked up by Demizio again in the right circle, whose pass was between his 2 defensemen, Fleckenstein and Yanni. Demizio again, now up for Griffin Loughran, who was robbed on a penalty shot earlier by Evan Moyes. Loughran put it in front, deflected. It bounced off of Fleckenstein's stick, changed direction ever so slightly. Moyes managed to track it down and cradle the puck. 7:09 to go in the third. The IceRays now lead the Cats in shots on goal, 32-31. Though still trailing 4-3. We're going to head to our third period immediate timeout. Step aside real quick. Stay with us, folks. You're listening to Wildcats Hockey on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Cats 4, IceRays 3. We'll be back in just a moment. For some South Division out-of-town scoreboard updates for you, looks like the Shreveport Mudbugs are going to win again tonight, which is not good news for the Wildcats, who are hoping to catch them in the South Division. Shreveport with a 2-0 lead over Amarillo with just a minute and a half remaining in the third period. So unless they have conceded a 2-0 lead, the Jacks actually came back to gain the lead, but the Brahmas just tied it again. Collision out there near the IceRays blue line between Isaac Cabina and Griffin Lofren. Cabina broke up the pass intended for Lofren then, who nearly had another breakaway. And Lofren will swat it into the right corner in the Cat zone. Heiser going back to fetch it. The ex-Billings Bull will start it down the right side, and from the red line he will fly it into the zone. Fleckenstein manages to just squeak it up to Mason Kruger, who crosses over and then dekes in, tries to pass it across the ice, a shot off the side of the net. Mason Kruger has just been so hard to stop from a defensive standpoint for the Wildcats in the series. Wilhelm's long shot didn't get through the traffic. Rosa starts in after it. Wilhelm's got to hurry. Vamachka out to help him out and clears it out to center. Glove down by Brad Power. No penalties called here as play resumes. Kruger will fire. Sticked aside by Moyes and out of play. That was a good play by Tomas Vamachka at the other end. Trevor Wilhelm was a lot more gassed than Nick Rosa was, who looked like he was going to catch him for sure. Vamachka came well out of his net to play it, good 20, 25 feet, and cleared it away from Nick Rosa. And it turned into an offensive chance for the IceRays. So even goaltenders, if they make the right play at the right time, can contribute to offensive chances. Acioli gives it to Wilhelm. Circle to circle pass in the IceRays zone. Sportsov's pass at center, just missing Poikala. Wilhelm for Kruger. It's been out there for quite a while. Just about every chance the IceRays have had in this third period, at some point or another, had him involved in it. Poikala knocks it off his stick. Kruger taking a couple of hooks there at Poikala. Then Carballo is tripped. Nothing called. Could have been 2 penalties. Instead, there are none. And now Regula will take it back and circle behind his own net. Has his stick lifted. And look out here. A turnover in front of the net. It's Halford marching in. He's knocked down to the ice by Ricky Carballo, who back-checked beautifully just then. Skvortsov turns behind his own goal to look for a better breakout pass. Lobs one just outside the reach of Carballo. Will this go for icing? It will against Skvortsov and the Wildcats. Some of the players that made an illegal line change are going to have to go back out. Del Ponte being one of them. .449 the amount of time remaining. Cats with a 4-3 lead despite being outshot 33-31, and Coach Nelson, I think, making a wise decision here using his timeout in this situation. Cats have just iced the puck. He knows that they had some tired bodies. One of them being Kareem Del Ponte, who even tried to pretend like he'd been on the bench the whole time. About as sinister a maneuver as you'll ever see Del Ponte make. But the linesman knew what he was up to. 4:49 the amount of time remaining. Things looked scary at the start of the third period for the Wildcats. It was all IceRays at the beginning. Then the power play that the Wildcats had sort of turned momentum around, even though the Cats did not score on it. They put the IceRays back in their place a little bit and on their heels. Made them a little bit more tentative. And it hasn't just been surge after surge in the Wildcats zone since that point, though that could change. There's still just under 5 minutes to go in this game. Plenty of time. The last goal the Wildcats scored came way back in the second, midway through the second roughly, scored by Ilya Skvortsov off of a beautiful diagonal cross-ice pass by Alexei Poikala from the left half boards down to the right corner in the goal line. Skvortsov's goal from a near impossible angle, just beating Camden Burgrave inside the short side post. It had to have gone off of him and in. That's the only plausible explanation for how that goal occurred. Yanni holds the puck in the zone, scoots it along the end wall, centered. Halford's one-timer. He did not get much on it. Rosa chips it off the glass. Halford keeps it in the zone, and a penalty will be called here as Rosa was hit hard and awkwardly against the wall. Boarding, I believe, called against Corpus. And that's an untimely penalty for the IceRays, not only because there's not much time left in this game, but also because they were buzzing with an offensive zone opportunity upcoming. Cole Filler is headed to the box, and I believe it was Gammer who had a chance in the high slot area to rifle it on net. Cats power play 0 for 8 on the series so far. It's also given up 2 shorthanded goals on the series, so they've got to be careful here. The IceRays have proven time and time again how much of a threat they are while shorthanded. I have to ask my buddy Colin Shuck, the IceRays broadcaster, who does an excellent job covering them, but I'm sure he knows the exact how many times it's happened where the IceRays have scored 3 shorthanded goals in just a 4-game span. I'm sure it hasn't happened more than a few times in IceRays history, and it's happened the last couple of weeks. Ryan Burnett trying to slip it back to Orgel. It bounces over him and down into the Wildcat zone. Jonathan Waring back to get it. Stop behind his own net. Miller will do a circle around the ice. Rosa, the only one not in the defensive zone, as the Wildcats start the breakout here. Burnett down the right side, knocked down by Jestro. Yanni pinned up by Rosa. Will be an easy keep in the right point by Orgel. Gives it to Burnett, who will spin it back to Orgel. He will walk the blue line, dish it out to Waring. Top of the left circle. Now to Skinner. Put it in front, deflected back in behind the net. Burnett out to Orgel again. Cats cycling the wagons, looking for an insurance lead here. Burnett will fire off the shoulder of Vamachka and out of play. 9 seconds to go. The Cleaners 0 for 4 tonight, 0 for 8 on the series. On the season, 6th best in the league, the Wildcats power play, though on home ice, it's been a lot worse than it has been on the road. On the road, it's the 2nd best. On home ice, it's the worst. At least by the numbers. Power clears the puck down. Takes an odd carom off the net. Moyes recovers it and saucers it out towards Roman Canal, who's stripped of it by Mason Kruger. Kruger twisting and turning and looking, tried to throw it across, had Acioli, but the puck went off a Wildcat stick. Acioli will spin it back in the zone. The IceRays were on a delayed offside, and now they're good, as Kruger will start the forecheck on Skvortsov. Skvortsov pass goes off of Kruger, kicks it back up to his stick and behind the net, killing some valuable seconds on this Wildcats power play, trying to perhaps even generate some offense, but he's got no help in the offensive zone. There were 3 IceRays back. Skvortsov gains the zone on the blue line down the right side, weaving in on Acioli. Skvortsov goes down. Acioli and Fleckenstein each in there working for it, along with Carballo and Poikala, the latter of whom will get to it first and set up Roman Canal in the deep slot. Over to CJ Regula, top of the right circle. Touch pass to Poikala. Back to Skvortsov at the goal line. He scored from that area earlier in this game. He will fire from there, blocked by his own man, Poikala, who will give it back out to him. Right half board, Skvortsov fires one on net, deflected just wide by Carballo. And the IceRays are out of the box now. Cole Filler let out, so they're back to full strength here. And they've improved to 5 for 5 on their penalty kill tonight. Carballo did well to keep the puck in the zone. The IceRays have some tired players, but they're finally going to be able to get to the bench for a line change. Now stick handling in is Brendan Miller, who's knocked down by Waring. Breyer can't follow up a shot. Tilly goes down to his knees and clears it from there. Great effort by Stephen Tilly to relieve some pressure. 2:05 to go in this game. The Wildcats leading 4-3, and in all likelihood, in the next few seconds, we'll see a goaltender pull, and Tomas Vamachka will come to the IceRays bench in favor of a 6th attacker. Ryan Orgel battling for it in front of the benches. Tilly and Walker collide with one another. Friendly fire out center at the red line. Yanni back in his own zone will take it behind his own net with 105 seconds remaining in this hockey game. Yanni will start the breakout with Ripley, Tilly, and Walker defending now at center. From the left side, it's Jestro blasting it in around the end wall, past the stick of Evan Moyes, out under the near half wall, and we get a whistle. The IceRays were offside upon that zone entry, even though it was a dump in. David Thompson got in there a little bit too quick, too far ahead of himself. Faceoff will now come all the way back into the Corpus Christi zone. Minute 34 to go. Nick Rosa to take the draw. Acioli picked it off. And a very quick zone exit here for the IceRays as they're trying to dump it into the Wildcats zone. A follow-up try by Thompson. Managed to get it just across the blue line. Fleckenstein gave it away. Rosa could get a breakaway. Swatted out of midair by Fleckenstein. Excellent hand-eye coordination. Burnett lobbed a saucer pass ahead for Rosa and out of midair. Fleckenstein swatted it down. Famachka's waiting for the IceRays to get possession of the puck before he decides to head to the bench, and they can't do it. They've got some tired skaters out there. Rosa down the right side, gaining the IceRays zone for Skinner, who will fire off the blocker of Tomas Famachka. Loose puck taken by Skinner and fired. It was blocked by an IceRay in front of the goal. Skinner will wheel one back behind the net. Burnett goes chasing after it. A minute to go in the hockey game. The Cats leading 4-3. From the left corner, it's Jeff Skinner. He'll try to put it back behind the goal just to kill some more time. He does just that. Rosa, Burnett, and Skinner, the Wildcats' number one line on the depth chart tonight, will head off the ice for a line change. Famachka to the bench. The IceRays with 6 attackers for the next 32 seconds to try to tie it up. Burnett bounces one off the glass. Going back to get it in his own zone is going to be tonight. He will start it with a full head of steam across the blue line and chip it into the left corner. Goes behind the net. Moyes is there. He will try to roll it around. Kruger picks it off and shoots from a tough angle. Gets blocked. Loughran will follow up now from the right corner. Looks to center. Kruger with a shot. He hacked it just wide of the net. Behind the net it goes once more. Picking it up is Kruger. Finding Loughran. Kruger gets it again. Puts it in front. Here's a shot. Bounces in front. And Miller puts it off the side of the net. How did that one not go in? Unbelievable. And the Wildcats have won. For the first time in 12 games, a team has defeated the Corpus Christi IceRays in regulation time. 4-3 the final. And Brendan Miller absolutely is stunned that he didn't put that puck in the back of the net. An empty net chance for Brendan Miller to tie in the last 2 seconds, and he just missed it by an eyelash. Frustrating defeat for the IceRays here in regulation tonight. We'll be right back. So with a much better crowd on hand here tonight on Pack the House night as opposed to yesterday, which was a Thursday, the Wildcats came out big in front of a home crowd, though they were slowed down significantly in the third period. A very big lead they built up in periods 1 and 2 proved to be the difference as they managed to hold on and win by a 4-3 final here, hanging on by the skin of their teeth at the end. Again, it was a very close surge by the Corpus Christi IceRays, nearly tied it up. Brendan Miller with an unbelievable golden opportunity right in front of the net to tie the game with just seconds remaining. I thought it was a sure goal, folks. It would have been his second of the night, and he just shanked it. I'm not sure if the puck was on edge and he couldn't get a good shot off or what the deal was, but he had virtually the entire net with Moyes down and out. A left-handed shot on the right side, and he had a really good angle to try to tuck that in, and Miller just could not find a way to do it. I'm guessing he's a very good player, good goal scorer, and I'm guessing the puck just was on edge and bounced on him, which caused him to sort of whiff on the shot a little bit and shank it wide of the net. And now for your Kona Ice 3 stars of the game selection here, the public address announcer Charles Campbell getting ready to announce them. Matt Hannawall is tonight's number 3 star of the game. He had a deflection on a beautiful shot taken by Jonathan Waring, to open the scoring for the Wildcats and retaliate after the Wildcats went down 1-0 early. That was a very important goal because it completely changed the complexion of the game and gave the Wildcats the momentum. They would score 3 unanswered after that goal. Alexei Poikala did a tremendous job moving the puck around in all 3 zones tonight. Really good job covering for his defensemen when they pinched and had 2 assists to show for it. 2 very good passes by Alexei Poikala tonight, the last of which found Ilya Skvortsov at the goal line, who scored from a near impossible angle. And tonight's #1 star of this game, Ryan Orgel howitzer from the left point, just inside the right post and the crossbar. A bar-down snipe from Ryan Orgel to give the Wildcats their first lead of the game, way back in period 1 at the end of a Wildcats power play. A peach of a shot, perfectly placed. His first goal in 22 games, and a very good night defensively, sound in all 3 zones. Again, Ryan Orgel with a well-deserved honor of being tonight's Kona Ice first star of the game. A very balanced attack tonight for the Wildcats, much better skating-wise, especially in the first period. They were moving all over the offensive zone. First period was definitely the best period of the series for the Wildcats. Second period was pretty good as well. In the third in the series, however, that might be a cause for concern. They have struggled. Last night was a little bit worse, more dominant for the IceRays last night. Tonight, again, the IceRays probably did have the edge. They did score once to draw to within 1, but it would not be enough. Evan Moyes shut the door, as did the Wildcats defensively for the rest of the game. Actually took it to the IceRays and killed off some of the momentum they'd gained from that goal scored by Josh Tripp by going to a power play and putting them back on their heels a little bit. So 4-3 is the final score here on Pack the House night. Folks, thank you so much for sticking with us and enjoying some Wildcats hockey on your Friday night. Hope you had a great one. We know we did here on Pack the House. It was one heck of an atmosphere here tonight, and the Wildcats responded with a 4-3 victory to give the IceRays their first regulation defeat since January 27th. A huge accomplishment for the Wildcats tonight. Though they have clinched the series, this series is long from over. Tomorrow night, I'm sure we'll see a bitter IceRays squad, to say the very least, after dropping a couple of heartbreaking losses here at the KYC, despite playing some very good hockey in both of those games. The Wildcats have gained some separation from them in the South Division standings. We'll break down how that shapes out right now. The Wildcats have now gotten 63 points, which is just 1 behind the Shreveport Mudbugs, who won tonight over Amarillo. Corpus Christi gets no points from this game, so the Cats have now established a 3-point margin of lead over the IceRays, which has not been done in quite some time. So a job well done for the Wildcats tonight in buckling down in that third period and making sure the IceRays didn't get a point out of this game. That is huge. Every game and every point from this point on will count big towards the standings, especially in a skin-tight race such as this here in the South. Thanks so much for joining us again, folks. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We know you enjoyed the outcome. The Wildcats with 4, the IceRays with 3. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Same time, same place, KYC. Puck drops at 7:05 p.m. Central Time. If you can't make it down, as always, I'll be providing coverage from start to finish of tomorrow night's game. We'll be broadcasting live in high definition on Hockey TV and for free in the audio-only stream on YouTube.com. Hope to have you with us on board tomorrow night, folks. If not, we hope you can make it here. Otherwise, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.